that like the top thing, and then you're also the new Gedolei that's like the second thing?
The truth is, right now, this is the priority, is the Agudah right now, because we are at the Agudah Convention, and I'm joined by my co-host, Rabbi Shai Markowitz of the Lefkowitz Leadership Initiative. Gedvach, Rabbi Markowitz, Gedvach, to all of the thousands of people at home that are logged in, watching the Agudah Convention live. What a Shabbos. What a Shabbos.
That's what they tell me. I don't know. I really didn't get a chance to experience it. I was too busy making sure everything was working out well. But they do tell me that everything worked out very well, and the lineups were really amazing.
I thought everything was so streamlined that you would have plenty of time to be able to go enjoy the sessions.
I was always one step ahead of you to make sure everything was working out. I had to make sure you didn't have the kinwa challenge. I had to make sure you had your special, what do you call it, your suda. Everything was perfectly planned just for you.
It really was. It really was a beautiful Shabbos. We had hundreds and hundreds of guests. How many guests were here for Shabbos that were here guests in the hotel for Shabbos?
It's hard to count because we pack out the hotel, we're sold out.
Right.
But in addition to that, we have guests that come from other hotels. They said 2 other hotels down the block, or quote unquote down the block, within a mile, were basically sold out, and people couldn't get
these
room.
hotels are not down the block. They're a good 15, 20-minute walk at least. And it's pretty cold outside. But people...
Did you hear? It's supposed to snow.
That's pretty cool. You get snowed in the hotel tomorrow after the keynote, which we'll talk about shortly.
Yes. Oh, because you know talking about tomorrow's keynote? You know
yes,
speaking?
Yes, a few people. But before we get to that, it happens, it's an interesting point. People, when we advertised that the convention was sold out, people said, okay, that's it, I'm done. Not the Agudah Convention. Your hotel sold out, I'm still coming. I'm still going to come. How am I going to come? I'm going to find the hotel that's 20 minutes away. I'm going to book a hotel room over there. I'll bring food to the hotel, which is a real pain in the neck. I just did that a few weeks ago. I'm going to walk back and forth and back. We had coat racks of all the people coming from all hotels that were filled with coats. I was like, why are so people putting on coats? Where are they going? And then I realized, I would say several dozens of people, which means couples, took out rooms in other hotels and came here for Shabbos. That's how packed the hotel was.
Yes.
Incredible.
And it's not bad. You always have people who last minute show up without reservations, and you have a tough time working that out.
What happens then?
Well,
you give up your room?
Yeah, for sure. I gave my room many weeks ago. That was part of the sold out.
Right.
But there's Baruch Hashem, it's a nice hotel, and they have very comfortable couches. I'll tell you from experience. And the truth is, you're so busy going to sessions, talking to people, even just schmoozing in the hallway, the camaraderie, that there's not that much time to sleep.
No, not at all.
Like, you were walking around first of all, the Friday night session, so everything ran on time. It was really going smooth. The studio went well. The keynote sessions went well. It was a little bit longer than expected. We didn't end the scheduled sessions until 12:10 after midnight.
Right. And each one was full.
Right, and they were all full.
Each one was full.
By the time that you go to the Vasikim...
Full means, by the way, wasn't full mean that we gave a smaller room with 20 people. Full means there were hundreds of people that were up and awake attending sessions.
You know what?
At 12 o'clock at night.
We should take people around the hotel on the Gedolei.
We should maybe have an Agudah on Shabbos somehow, so people can see what actually happens on Shabbos.
Okay.
But that
we happen to be like religious Jews, but something like we should show you like the different rooms that we're talking about. No, but 12.
We should do that.
12:10 you have it is when it started. The last session ended. If you go to the Vasikim Minyan, which obviously most of us do, and that started at 6 o'clock. So
that's not much time in between.
You know, by the time you get up, you schmooze, you get a couple of food, you got to have your daf yomi shir before the 6 o'clock Minyan of Vasikim, so you're up you want to learn by 5. You don't have that much time until you sleep, so it's not worth it.
And the Shabbos afternoon, you have the Shachris, there's a Kiddush, 2 concurrent keynote sessions.
Mini keynote, as we call them.
Mini keynote, Suda. There's like an hour break after the Suda, and then boom.
Not even 40
another
minutes.
3 concurrent sessions. Mincha, 3 Shalosh Shudases.
4.
Probably 1 for women as well. 4 Shalosh Shudases. Each one was full. I was by the 3 men's. I peeked into each one of them, and they were full.
I should do that next. That's a good idea. Like you run around from each one, everyone feels like you visited them.
Of course.
I like that.
Then they see me leaving, so you have to know what the thought is like. I wasn't good enough to stay. I thought about that. Like I'm walking in and out of everyone's speech. So I'm walking in, like, they came to my speech. But then I'm walking right out 20 seconds later. So you have to know if it really balances out or not.
You gotta get a tissue. I'm gonna walk out like this.
Yeah, exactly. Hatchu. But either which way, the sessions were full. Shabbos was packed. What was also incredible was that the amount of people and times that I saw groups hovering around the Rosh Hashivas that were here for Shabbos.
Oh my, wow.
Ravelli Bruni has a line by his table.
It's great. You want to hear? By the Suda, I spoke to his son who was with him, Chanina, and he said, Rebelli's going to, he wanted to go a little bit of a break, or he didn't think he was going to make it to the keynote session. When we were turning over the room for the keynote session,
This was Friday night.
Friday night keynote session. He was so busy with people, his table was still there through the keynote session because we didn't have time to clean it off.
It's incredible. And Avsham Kamenetsky, for Reich, and Rav Feldman, and I'm going to miss one of the Minsk Rebbes. Wherever he goes, you see just a whole crew around him trying to chap a bracha, talk to him a quick and Shabbos. It's incredible what goes on by this convention, the sessions, the learning, the inspiration, the education, and then the opportunity to spend a Shabbos literally within the reach of Gedolei Yisroel is absolutely incredible. I think we are ready.
I'd love to
bring on our first guest of the evening, our convention chairman.
Co-chair.
Hi.
Welcome to Agudath. Have a seat.
Have a seat. Ezra, join us. Join us.
So Ezra Safrani, you are Shavua Tov. You are this year's convention co-chairman. This is not your first convention coming to.
No, I've been coming for years.
For years already, exactly. But how does it feel this year as the chairman of the convention?
Next question, please.
Next question.
Come on, it was wonderful. I don't know about you, but I had a great time with you.
It was really a great feeling. It's a privilege.
It really is.
And it was great. You know what? He got up to speak Friday night at the keynote session over there, introducing Rabbi Zeri Baron Reich, and he told us something very interesting. He is the first
Syrian-born chairman
of the Agudah Convention, which says a lot about the community, about your community. First of all, the growth of it, the integration to as a part of Klal Yisrael. For sure, we know in Flatbush and in Brooklyn, the growth and Livet Torah they had, from A to Z. But also, I think it's something special about the connection that Agudah has built with their community, with the Sephardi community, which is growing, like we said, in Flatbush.
Not only the Syrian community, the Iranian community, the Bukhari community in Queens. There's been a tremendous amount of connection over the past few years, which really, that's what Agudah Yisroel is. That's exactly what we're supposed to be doing. And that, Baruch Hashem, is what we're doing. And what a highlight for me by this convention was, because Ezra was the chairman, you brought a lot of guests for Shabbos.
Yes, Baruch Hashem.
And it was a very large, every year we have a lot of Sephardi mishpachas. But this year was a little bit more than usual. And it was great. I loved it. I love the fact to be able to see this is really what Agudah Yisroel is all about.
As a matter of fact, Friday night, we give them, because of the leaning and their terrorists, we give them a separate minyan for Shachris in the morning. But Friday night, there was an option to, to have their own minyan. But most of them said, no, we're part of that Agudah, we're all one here together. The different Havarah doesn't make us any difference. Let's all dive in together. And I think that was something very special of what the Agudah Convention really represents. So Avi, which group are you going to bring maybe next year from Lakewood? Oh, from New Jersey as
what
the director.
Group? We're all, there's not Lakewood group.
Not Lakewood, New Jersey. I want you to...
Baruch Hashem, listen, it's definitely a convention that's worthwhile to come to. And Baruch Hashem, we're happy that this year there were a lot of new families, a lot of young families that came. And the problem is that when a guy comes once, he wants to come again. You're still out too early, so you have a problem.
Yeah.
Either go to a bigger hotel next year, which will be even more challenging, or we just come to the fact that we have the same people coming because the rooms fill out.
It's going to come, first serve, and if you miss it, you miss it.
Like the Siyum HaShas.
Exactly.
There we go.
But let me ask you, what would your message be to people when you get home or right now on Agudah Live about what people gain from coming to Agudah Convention?
I've been coming to Agudah for many years, and I believe that it has to be on every frum family's schedule. It's inspiring, it's energetic, there's camaraderie, it's unbelievable. You get to see other people, like-minded people that are looking for more. I think the speeches, the Rabbanim, just being around Gedolei Torah is really unbelievable. Askanim, the people that want to work for Klal Yisrael. To me, I've been coming for many years. It's really a privilege to come to Agudah, see the people that work very hard for Am Yisrael, whether in Jersey or Ohio or the national...
all over the country.
The national hub.
The national hub.
Right? Baruch Hashem, we're privileged to be a part of it.
We're grateful you're a part of it.
One of the things, about Ezra is that whenever you talk to him and you meet with him, we talk about Agudah, ideas come about. This guy has so many great ideas, but not ideas. In his community, he actively rolls up his sleeve and makes it come to fruition. Whether it's Smachot program you have, whether it's, what was the other one years ago you told me about, the UNICEF, what do you call it? UNICEF, that money for schools, for tuition scholarships. These are just like two things, and it's an idea, boom, boom, boom. His mentality is, you do it right away. No, we don't have to think about it, we don't have to plan it out. hopefully, maybe by the end of the week, we'll have some other new special announcements.
Yes,
some
waiting
dreams.
waiting for some special surprise announcent.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we can't tell you
Can we
about
give
it.
a little
Obvi-
tease
we
about
can't,
this?
We can't tell you about it.
Oh,
It's a
boy.
very small circle right now.
Okay.
hope it'll be
Stay
live.
tuned.
I hope it'll be a lot
You
of
heard
fun.
it first here on the Agudah Live.
Right? American dream becomes Klal Yisrael's dream.
Oh, that's too much of a...
No.
Look at my mind is flying right now, but we're going to end it at that. And,
We're excited to have you be part of the Agudah family. We're excited to have you be chairman.
I'm so appreciative. Thank you for including me.
and that's for many more years to come. Not Shimon. That we can't
you
do
don't have to
many
be
more
chairman
years to
every
come.
year. It's okay.
But many more years to come to participate and join the Agudah Convention. And it really is something. You hit the nail on the head.
I really
That's
appreciate
what it
it.
is.
I really appreciate it. Thank you for everything you do for Am Yisrael.
Shua Tov.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
we'll be in touch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, one of the things that this convention really had is that we brought a twist. A twist. I heard the Swedish Abdul tonight.
Really?
When they laugh after one of the brachas. I'm not sure which one it is, but it shows the blend
Maybe
of Klal
someone just
Yisrael.
made a joke.
No, that's what they do, and it's a blend of Klal Yisrael. Really, is the blend of Klal Yisrael. When the Agudah started, way back, so the Swedish community was never part of it because it was in Europe,
Right.
and there was a physical disconnect between what took place in the Middle East and Europe. I have no doubt that if the Agudah would be starting today, then the Gedolim of the Swedish Gedolim of yesteryear would have been there with the Gerev and the Chavetz Chaim and the Chaim Meiser. It was just a simple technicality.
Right,
They weren't able to be there.
You know, now that we in the
100%, exactly.
not only that, the connection we have, you know, Rabbi Ozeri, Rabbi David Ozeri has been very strongly connected to the Agudah for many years. Rabbi Meir Yidden also for many years. He came to the convention maybe 3-4 years ago. Also brought a chevra. Rabbi Raymond Haber has been coming. The truth is, Rabbi Raymond Haber is probably one of the first rabbanim that we've connected with. He's also happens to be a rav with Chaim Aruchim, and he has been coming with Ezra. I think he's his rav, and they have a learning program at night, and he's been for maybe 6-7 years that they've been coming. And the community is growing and steiging. It's an amazing.
Well, you mentioned that thing about Rabbi Haber being part of Chaim Aruchim. What Chaim Aruchim did was that there's certain halachic angles and minhagim and customs that Sfardim had. So when Chaim Aruchim was created, they have Chassidish Shapaiskim, they have Litvish Shapaiskim, and they knew they had to have Sfardish Shapaiskim.
Right, why not? Of course.
And they had a special training for the Sfardish Rabbanim in order to incorporate that part, to be part of the organization of Chaim Aruchim, which is obviously a division of Agudah Yisroel. And it's about incorporating all facets of Klal Yisrael.
But also tending to the needs in their way, meaning you think it's full shit, but even I think on the first ad they made for Chaim Aruchim, they spelled it Chaim Aruchim because that's
That's very smart.
You have to be very careful that when you're working with people to do things in a way that they're most comfortable, especially halacha, especially hashkafa, and we're very proud, you know, to have that connection, do as much as we can for the communities, for the people, for the individuals, for like we say, Rebbe Yisrael and Klal Yisrael.
For all those watching online, the keynote session is going to be starting in about 10 minutes. 8:30 is scheduled to start. We had a tremendous guest. We have a tremendous guest here this year from Eretz Yisrael, the Rosh Yeshiva of Panovich, Rebel Pavarsky, will be speaking tonight.
Right.
Of course, the Rosh Agudath Yisrael, Rav Minsker Rebbe Shlit will be speaking. Rav Elia Bruni, Chaver Metzes Gedolei Torah will be speaking. We'll hear a special message every year. I wait to hear from Chaim David Zubel. You hear a message from him. It's a man that's on the front lines, who is head to toes given over into the Klal. And you hear his perspective on the challenges of Klal Yisrael, the struggles we're facing, as well as Rabbi Yechiel Spira will be speaking as well.
Right.
So make sure you stay with us on agudahconvention.org,
and
as well as
Yeshiva World,
YeshivaWorld.com, Lakewood School,
TorahAnytime.com,
massive, and TorahAnytime.com will be streaming the convention live. Make sure to tune in.
And what about tomorrow's keynote session? We're full. We have 2 sessions going on right now before this. We have a keynote session afterwards from Lav Malka, but it doesn't end tonight. Tomorrow we have sessions. We have concurrent sessions going on, then there's a keynote session.
There are 3 concurrent sessions tomorrow morning, starting at 9:30, I believe, or 9 o'clock. Starting at 9:30 tomorrow morning, we have 3 concurrent
9:30,
sessions.
right?
Following those concurrent sessions, we're going to have the keynote session to wrap up the convention, which has a superstar lineup, if I may say so myself, with Malcolm Hoenlein, as well as
Rav Shalom Kamenetz,
Rosh Yeshiva Philadelphia, and yours truly.
And of course, Avi Schnell.
We'll wrap it up. We'll say a couple words. So make sure to tune in tomorrow, 11 o'clock. AgudahConvention.org. It's something you don't want to miss.
Avi, what's the topic?
Where's our producer with our next guest? I see him down the hall,
No, wait.
but they don't hear us because we're waiting for our next guest on the Agudah Live.
I want to talk about the keynote session.
Yeah, we'll get to it right now.
Okay, not now, not this coming. Tomorrow
tomorrow's.
morning. What is the topic of the keynote session?
The topic of tomorrow's keynote session is anti-Semitism on the rise. Is there a way out? Like, obviously can't talk too much about it because I don't want to give it away. Like the next project that was just a little tease you just wanted to talk about, without giving too many details. But at the end of the day, this is a struggle that Klal is a struggle. This is something that we're facing. We read in the newspapers, we see on the news, we hear it on the radio. Unfortunately, lots of scary things are happening abroad, nationally, and locally. Things are taking place within our communities. We hear these stories, frightening stories of people being assaulted, real assault, not just, a couple teenagers driving by in a car, rolling down a window and screaming out a couple of curse words.
And throwing an egg or something.
People have been sent to the hospital in serious condition. And it wasn't just one or two, it's been, unfortunately, too many of those. And we hear things that are being written about us and being said about the Jewish community, the Orthodox community. There's a lot of animosity being built up. And it's something that needs to be talked about and addressed and spoken about. And where else but here? So that's going to be the topic tomorrow. Malcolm Holline has a global view of this topic. He's someone that is internationally renowned, that lives this day in and day out. We're going to have the opportunity to hear from Shom Kamenetsky, from the Gedolei Rosh Yeshivas today in America, the Philadelphia Yeshiva, and he's going to give us, the Torah hashkafa of our place of Klal Yisrael and Gullus dealing with this issue. And we're also going to be hearing from me. I'll say a couple stories because that's the theme of the convention.
That's what we need. I need a storyteller on the schedule.
I'll say some stories.
Rabbi
And we are waiting for our next guest. Here he is.
A friend of yours, all the way from Chicago.
From Chicago. Wow, another one. Biden Shai.
Unbelievable.
Welcome, Yisrael from Cleveland, Ohio.
I know that you want to live in Chicago, that's why.
Chicago. I'm from Milwaukee, which is like
That's
there,
closer to Chicago,
yeah.
right?
Close.
You're from Milwaukee and I ended up in Cleveland.
Yes.
What's wrong with that? It's out of town. It's all the same thing.
It's
To us New
incredible.
Yorkers, it's all the same thing.
Yes. Have you ever come to the East
Called
Coast?
America.
Have you ever come to America, Lakewood?
I used to live in Lakewood.
You used to live in
I
Lakewood.
learned in BMG.
Baruch Hashem.
Oh, really?
So yes, this is definitely not obviously your first convention coming to, and you have a different perspective coming to a convention because you come, I'm going to use the word employee because that's not a great word.
Yeah.
You are an employee, but you come as sort of like the staff, so to speak, of the Agudah Yisroel. Your perspective, what's your impressions of the convention?
So, I always come away very inspired. This year is, I would say, a little different than usual. It's much younger. Is it a bigger crowd than usual? I don't know, but it definitely feels like there is. Definitely the Sephardi contingent added a little bit of spice. Charif. Love that. But it's been a phenomenal convention. Tremendous. The Rosh Yeshiva that came, they really gave time to the attendees. Spoke about a lot of important issues. It was tremendous.
Right. When you go back, so you also you have also a lot of times you go to the convention in Chicago, the Midwest convention. So you go back to your hometown, you have to tell them about the different conventions. And obviously coming to New York is much harder for many people. But what would you tell someone, like how do you convince them? What would be the message back to them? Say, you got to come because, what's your takeaway? What's your highlight?
He'll say just go to the convention in Chicago.
First of all, everyone should go to the convention in Chicago for sure.
What's the question? Come on, Shai, that's a tough question.
There's no question. It's definitely a sacrifice to come to convention. It's not cheap dealing with kids, but if you're someone, whether you're involved in askanis or you are someone that cares deeply about Klal Yisroel, you will learn things, you'll gain things, you'll build relationships with Gedolim, with other people, and you will gain a lot of chizuk, and that's just a fact. So certainly anyone that feels that they could gain from that should come. Fortunately, with Agudah Live, you're able to get a little bit of the hashba, not the same, but certainly a little bit of the hashba through the
truth is that,
live stream.
Obviously, Shabbos is something special. You can't obviously encapsulate it in anything. and it gives you time just to focus on what's there, nothing else. But we do have a tremendous opportunity with Agudah, not Agudah Live, but with the live streaming of Agudah, of the convention, that thousands, that we looked at the numbers. The guy came over to me who was in charge of the live stream. He said that we had 44,000 unique individuals who watched on Thursday night.
Wow.
Last year, I think we got 23,000.
44,000.
And it builds, right? People watch afterwards.
Yeah, just for years afterwards.
Unique IP addresses that take over. That means the guy comes on and off. It's counted as one address. 44,000 was a high number.
Every one of those should have multiple.
Yes.
We're getting it out. We don't have to wait until the announcement finish because they obviously don't realize that we have a show going on.
Well, they do want to tell people that Agudah Convention, the keynote.
I will tell people online as well.
They should stay and
5 more minutes. You have to listen to me and Shai. There's 5 minutes, and then we're done. And then we
come back again. We come back again.
afterwards.
Afterwards, for 3 minutes, give a wrap up. But the live stream, 44,000 people watched it.
Not people, 45,000 individual email addresses.
Not email, right.
That every one of those people watching it could have had multiple people sitting with them and watching it as well.
And also, they
so
couldn't come back.
It's easy to say the 45 could be 50,000, could be 60,000.
Right.
It's a tremendous
but
number.
We owe Hakar Satayv to Torah Anytime, who comes here and they put a lot of effort into making sure everything is live streamed. When the internet goes down, they're structured in a way that they're able to quickly back up, use their Wi-Fi and things like that.
Wow.
When we have issues.
The internet. This is over the internet we're live streaming?
No.
Oh,
you know it's okay.
Yeah,
Cleveland,
right.
you guys are a little bit behind.
Okay.
So when the internet goes, they'll clip it together. They do so much for us that we really owe tremendous amount of Hakar to Torah Anytime for what they do, specifically for us and also for Klal Yisrael. I wanted to point out to you, they asked me to mention that I do have a new program where a daily dose. Every day you get a short video on your WhatsApp. You can get from them on one of the speeches that they've recorded in them recently, a short inspirational piece. They cut it down to 2 minutes.
I think it takes me from Agudah Live as well.
We're not so inspirational. But if you send the words "add me" to 929-355-4268. Say it again. I'm trying to. Can you stop disturbing? 929-355-4268. You message the word "add me," then you can be added to their messages, and I think that's very powerful.
I think you first have to add that as a contact, and then message through WhatsApp.
Yes,
otherwise,
that could be.
You just won't be able to message.
Right.
Let's do this again. Can you explain to us how WhatsApp works? Because we're very hailing.
WhatsApp is a messaging app.
Very good. Excellent.
You would add 929-355-4268 to your contacts, and then save it. Message that contact. Add me, and that's it. And then you'll be inspired by a daily dose.
Our CEO is behind us. Where's our CEO? He walked away. Can we get him back here? Can we get the CEO back here?
Oh, Yosef Chaim's here. We should get him on.
Where's our CEO? Okay, our next guest, Rabbi Golding.
Don't run away.
Our next guest on the Agudah Live. Thank you, Rabbi.
Talk about the Siyum.
Exactly. Thank
you for having me, guys.
Thank you so much. Have a good
Thank you for pitching in into the program. Our next guest
will be coming on
the Agudah Live. As he's miking up,
his rabbi
is going to have a Yosef Chaim Golding, a veteran at the Agudah Convention, someone that's been here longer than Shai by conventions, and he was the, what is his official name by the Siyum? One of the coordinators of this coming up Siyum at MetLife Stadium.
I'm not one of the
What is really going on with the Siyum? What is happening with the Siyum?
Before we get to the Siyum HaShas, which is obviously on everyone's mind, I want to talk about one thing.
Is this live?
Yes, we are live.
How much money am I getting paid for this?
We are going to give you your paycheck because we came on. Now let's continue.
Can I take my hat off?
Yes, you can.
Well, that'll make us feel a little more comfortable.
Okay.
Rabbi Golding,
what can I do for you?
Besides talking about the Siyum, I just want to say that Yosef Chaim Golding put out an amazing, inspiring, uplifting, Emunah-based book on his grandfather.
On his
father-in-law. I'm sorry. I am not doing well.
Biden.
I would have brought a copy here.
We had out on the tables over Shabbos.
What's it called?
Fame and
Faith Amid the Flames.
Okay, you see, I read the
Available
inside.
by Art Scroll.
But
and you can get it from the Agudah cheap, you know.
I want to tell you, it was very. It's the piece. I didn't get to read the whole thing over here. I had to get a little bit of sleep. But the lessons you learn from
you were reading books at the convention?
Yeah, we made a special. We took away the exhibit area and you're like a cafe lounge.
I'm happy you found time to read books by the convention. It's good to know. We'll move past that line.
I wasn't going to talk about the book, but I haven't been able to walk anywhere in the lobby here without people stopping me all night long. They read the book, they love the book, it's a fantastic
People are
book.
very nice over
Lessons
here.
of Emunah.
They are?
People are very nice over here. But the truth is, the book really is good, by the way.
It's lessons of Emunah. I tell you, it's powerful.
The
Baruch
book is
Hashem.
very, I did not read the book. I did not read the book. However, people not here, people at home have told me, by the way, that book by Rabbi Golding is incredible. People have told me that, by the way.
Now let's talk about the Siyum.
So it really is good. Now let's move on to the next topic.
It was worth coming just for free
Just for that.
advertisement.
See
Available by Art Scroll, $24.99, and then with a 10% discount.
Artscroll.com.
Yeah.
Tell us about the
Artscroll.com.
Siyum before we switch over to the keynote session.
What do you want to know about the
Tell
scene?
me something exciting. Excite me about it.
Something new, something that we all know. It's about life. There'll be 100,000 people, 90,000 people.
Give me something.
Firstly, as COO of the Siyum, I can tell you it's a big schus. And people ask me why, like, what's the main reason that I'm doing this? Of course, for the paycheck, right?
I held myself back, by the way. I behaved.
I sincerely believe that after every major Siyum HaShas, tens of thousands of more people join the Daf Yomi program. I've seen it b'chush. I saw it in 1990, 97, 2005, 2012. This is my fifth Siyum that I'm involved as chief operating officer.
Wow.
The MetLife Stadium. I'll tell you a cute story. What happened at the end of last Siyum? Right towards the end, I had the headphones on and I'm watching screen with 25 video screens and everything. I get a tap on my shoulder. I look up. It's the president and CEO of MetLife Stadium. And he goes like this. As soon as I had a minute, he says, "Great job. See you in 14 and a half years." I did a quick cheshbon. He is saying to himself, if it's 7.5 years, there's no way we're coming back in January. But
We proved him wrong.
We are.
But it seems that the Moetzes proved him wrong. There are certainly, absolutely, more tickets already sold in MetLife Stadium than the entire Siyum last time.
Wow.
There are a lot of changes that were made for this Siyum, enhancements. I'm assuming everybody knows about the Barclays Center that we just took, which is another 16, 17
Wow.
1,000 seats in Brooklyn. The dais is going to be different than last time. The dais is four-sided dais, four sides. The Rabbanim are sitting on all four sides facing outwards.
The keynote session will be starting right now. Everyone, please make your
I
way
have
to
to
the
do this quickly.
international keynote session. Will be starting right now. Everyone, please make your way to the international.
As soon as we finish.
Well, does that mean I'm?
No, as soon as we finish,
That was like a
continue.
nice
As
Still
soon as
live.
we finish. So, and there are four podiums: east, west, north, and south. And in back of every one of the podiums is a large LED screen, much bigger than this, so that everybody who's sitting in any direction, they have a chance to look at the front of the dais. A quarter of the time, and the 3/4 of the time that they're not
incredible.
there, there's this gigantic LED
Wow.
screen. They're going to see a major picture. So, Baruch Hashem, there's the VIP section, and then there's the Magidei Shir section, which is something like 800 seats.
Wow.
There are-
Magidei Shir.
Yeah,
Wow.
there are props.
Daf Yomi Magidei Shir. Let's
Yeah,
just
Daf
clarify
Yomi
that.
Magidei Shir.
Daf Yomi Magidei Shir.
I'm sorry, yes, Daf Yomi Magidei Shir. And the dais itself holds approximately between 700 and 800 rabbanim.
Wow.
Just the dais, the four
the
sides.
four- the
It's
four
like
levels.
a pyramid,
It's a
and
pyramid.
it goes up in levels.
incredible.
Right.
And there's a little bit of heat that's coming up there for the rabbanim. After all, I mean that's
Well,
one.
It's
It might
gonna
be
be
cool.
it's gonna be a very nice day. Anyways, we have
I want to tell you.
total faith.
I looked. Listen. People say, "Are you praying for good weather?" So I'm not praying for good weather. The Rebbeinu Shloim knows what to do, what not. You know how to.
How to deal with it.
I worry about things that I can control. I worry about the tickets. I worry about the parking. I worry about who's sitting where. I worry about where the press is going to come. Make sure that there's a program for Holocaust. I want to tell you, there is a group coming. 4 generations. Someone who was in Vienna and escaped Vienna right before the outbreak of World War II. He survived the war in Sweden. He's coming to the Siyum. Him, his son, his grandson, and his great-grandson. And 3 of the 4, not the great-son, him, his son, are making a Siyum HaShas.
Wow!
That's
Oh
incredible.
my gosh!
This is what makes it all worthwhile. It's great. Super.
We're looking forward.
At last Siyum HaShas, I remember I got a call in the middle of the Siyum HaShas. My brother had twins. During the Siyum HaShas, he could have, but that was also like, we remember that also. We're running around. It was like an exciting part for us also, the Siyum HaShas. But
we're looking forward to the Siyum. We're looking forward to the Siyum and Mount Hashem. Everyone in Klal is looking forward. But right now, we're looking forward to going live to the keynote session. And again, tomorrow morning as well, we'll be streaming live.
Yeah, but we'll be here after.
9:30. And again, the keynote Sunday morning, 11 o'clock. Make sure to tune in at agudahconvention.org and TorahAnytime.com. Thank you for joining us.
See you soon.
And we'll be back.
And thank you.
So it had to be. tira-ri-ram, tararam-bam, tira-raram. Yehi Hashuvi Yahavu, Hashuvi Yahavu li shiyu li levuchu. Yehi HaChodesh hazeh kinemi asavicho ezeh Yishuma bebayizeh Koil sisoy v'koil zilcho Hashuvi Yahavu Hashuvi Yahavu Yishiyu v'levuchu Yehi HaChodesh hazeh kinemi azavicho ezeh Vehi shoma Hashuvi Yahavu, Hashuvi Yahavu li shiyu v'levuchu Yehi HaChodesh hazeh kinemi asavicho ezeh Vehi shoma
Good talk, everyone. We're going to start the program in 1 minute. Thank you. Good Tvach. Welcome everyone to the 97th annual Agudah Convention. Many of you were here for Shabbos. We had a beautiful Shabbos, Shabbos Achim, Heseirus. We continue with tonight's keynote session, but first we're going to say a kapitel Tehillim for Achenu Kol Beis Yisrael, B'chol Makom Shehein, who will be honored to be led by Rabbi Hillel David, the Rav of Kehilas Yeshiva Sharei Torah.
Shalom Alois, Esoy Nayel Horim, Yayin Yavo Yisri. Ezri Meim Adonai, Yisei Shamayim V'Ores. Al Yitein Lamoit Raglecho, Al Yanom Shemerecho. Hinei Elo Yanom V'Lo Yishon Shemer Yisroel. Adonai Shemrecho, Adonai Simcha, Al Yad Yeminecho. Yemam Hashemesh Lo Yakeko, V'Yoreach B'Laylo. Adonai Yishmocha Mikol Ra, Yishmer Es Nafshecha. Adonai Yishmer Seisencha V'Yecha, Me'atov Yad Olam. Shir Hamalvais Mimamakim Kasecha Adonai. Adonai Shema B'Kaili Tiyenos Necha Kashuvais L'Kel Tachanunai. Im Avaynois Tishmor Yo Adonai Mi Yamoin. Ki Imcha Haslicha Laman Tivorei. כי ויסי אדוני, כי וסוד נפשי, לדברי יכולתי. נפשי לאדוני, משיימרים לבויקר, שיימרים לבויקר. יחל ישראל אל אדוני, כי אם אדוני החסד והרבה עמו יפדוס. והוא יפסס ישראל מכל אדוני סוף.
Beis Yisrael and Sunnah of Torah v'Shivya, Hayni me'vayel me'vayel shamokim lachem alayim, Beis Yisrael v'Chol,
Hashtat ha'galo zman karev, yimru amen.
This morning, in the beautiful Shachris, just across the lobby, we said in Nishmas, we thank Hashem. B'ra'av zantanu, in times of hunger, you feed us. B'sava kilkaltanu, in times of plenty, you support us. Mecherav hitzaltanu, from the sword you have saved us. Umidevrim latatanu, you've helped us escape the plague. Mechalaim ram v'ne'emanim dilisanu, you've protected us from serious illnesses. One of these does not belong. All these things are bad things that Hashem saved us from. But b'sava kilkaltanu, in times of plenty, you supported us. That's a good thing. And the obvious lesson is that, yes, we see the Yad Hashem in times of tzara. We see the Yad Hashem when things are bad, in times of illness, in times of plague. And then we thank Him when He saves us. But we also have to see and we have to thank Hashem for the Yad Hashem in good times, if anything, even more. My name is Moshe Yehuda Glock. I'm privileged to have joined the Agudah over a year ago. I'm honored to serve as the Director of Corporate Communications for the Agudah. And know this, you tend to hear from the Agudah in times of tzara, the yeshiva crisis, security in Eretz Yisrael, mitzitza b'peh, anti-Semitism. But in times of quiet, the Agudah is there too, making sure that things stay quiet, working in the way we learned from our founders and our leaders, that the quiet, behind-the-scenes shadlanas is often the optimal way to work on behalf of Klal Yisrael. It's my honor to call up our National Director of Development, Rabbi Naftali Miller.
Agudath and welcome. As we've seen over during this Shabbos, Agudah Yisroel is an organization that Baruch Hashem is moving forward and growing. At the same time, we maintain a close connection to our past and those that came before us. With this in mind, it is with great sense of gratitude and pride that we welcome Reb Tzvi and Reb Mendel Tress, sons of our illustrious founder, Mr. Mike Tress, and so many members of the Tress family to the convention. Mike's vision and Mesiras Nefesh is part of everything that Agudath Yisroel does, and it's my kavod to ask Reb Mendel to chair this evening.
Thank you, Reb Naftali. B'shus Chavri Meyasis Gedolei Yisroel. B'shus Reish Agudath Yisroel Nov Mitzki Rebbe Shlita. B'shus Panavish Rosh Yeshiva Shlita. B'shus Reb Chaim David and your wonderful staff. B'shus my brother Reb Tzvi, my older brother, is here tonight. And really, he should be the one standing here tonight, not me. B'shus to all the members of my family that are here. B'shus all the wonderful convention guests. I am humbled. I am humbled to be standing at a platform where Gedolei Yisroel from the previous generations of Chayim Levracha stood. I am humbled to stand on a platform where Yibadul L'chaim, the present day Gedolei Yisroel, stand. I am humbled to stand on a platform where my cousin, Reb Moshe Sherer Zecher Tzadik Levracha, stood. But I'm even more humbled than anything else to stand on a platform where my great father Zecher Tzadik Levracha stood. Yes, I am humbled. But as much as I am humbled, it's a zchus and a kavod for me to be standing here tonight. When Rav Naftali Miller called me a few days ago to chair tonight's keynote session, I asked him, what's the theme of the evening? And he told me it's stories. Your stories, my stories, our stories. Now, I've been to many conventions and I've seen many themes, but this one baffled me. I said, what is this all about? And I started to think. And the more that I thought, the more it started making a lot of sense to me. Let me explain. I'm going to share tonight with you some of my stories. When my father, Zechron Levracha, was nifter, I was just a young boy of 9 years old. So anything that I know about him are from stories that were told to me. And I'm going to share two stories tonight with you that were told to me. A number of years ago, I was standing in shul, and as so often happens to my brothers and myself, someone saw my talus ekel, and he saw the name Tress on it, and he comes over to me and he says, Zugme, die bist an Einelkul from Reb Melech Tress, are you a grandson of Reb Melech Tress? And I tell him, no, I'm not a grandson, I'm a son. And standing there in his talus and tefillin, he starts hugging me and kissing me, and he wouldn't let go. And he says, let me tell you why I'm doing this to you. He told me his name. He told me he lives in Queens. He says, I wasn't feldefing when your father came. He wasn't the first one to come. Many others came before him. They took pictures, they looked at us, and they moved on. He says, your father came. He hugged us. He cried with us. He kissed us. He promised us to bring us to the United States and that he will take care of us. He says, I slept on one straw sack with him. He was able to go to a hotel. He didn't. He stayed with us. He slept with us. He said, and he was true to his word. He brought me to the United States. He found me a parnasa. He made sure I got married. He paid for my chasana. He says, I'm a gerel chassid, but as much as I'm a gerel chassid, I'm a chassid of your father. He said he didn't only do it for me, he did it for all my chaverim that were there. He said, what can I do to repay you? Meir Rabbi say, that was this man's story. My father heard this man's story and he made it his own story. I want to tell you another story. A number of years ago, a Hasidic Yid comes over to me. He says, "Your name Mendel Tress?" I said, "Yes." He said, "I look like a Hasidic Yid, but I wasn't always a Hasidic Yid." He said, "My father was a chaplain in the United States Army. And we used to get moved around from army base to army base. And I didn't have much of a chinuch in Yiddishkeit. Someone came to my mother and told my mother, 'Send your two sons with himself and his brother to Camp Agudah in the summertime, so they'll have some kind of chinuch which they weren't getting all year.' My mother decided that's a great idea. She's going to take my brother and myself to Camp Agudah, you told me. He told me I'm not sure what my mother was thinking, but she didn't make any kind of preparations to come to Camp Agudah, didn't call anybody. She just showed up in Camp Agudah. Here she is in Camp Agudah with her two sons, and there's no room. Camp was overflowing. There was no room for these two boys. And there was nothing for her to do. Here she is with her two sons, but there's no place to put these two boys. She felt, okay, there's nothing to do here. She decided she's going to leave. And she was walking down the road. He told me he was crying, his brother was crying. He thinks his mother was crying as well. And as he was walking down the road, to his good luck, he said, your father was walking up the road. He saw us crying. He said, what's the matter? What's going on here? We told him exactly what's going on. He said, just 1 minute, hold on a second. He said, we watched him, we followed him. He found out the ages, myself and my brother, he told me. And we saw him schlepping beds, mattresses, into two bunks. And I said, sure, we'll find a place for you. And we got to be in Camp Agudah that summer and many more summers. He said, if not for those summers in Camp Agudah, not only wouldn't I be a Hasidic Yid today, I wouldn't be a Frumma Yid today, not me nor my brother. That's because my father heard another Yid story and made it his own. Yes, Agudath Yisroel has an unbelievable heritage. A heritage that they carry on. Stories of other people become our stories. And they become part of Agudath Yisroel's story. We all know people that have stories. Let's stop and think. What's their story? And let's make their story part of our story. Camp Agudah has done so much for so many people. I was told tonight that Camp Agudah has an opportunity to grow by 50%, to acquire more space, to be able to help so many more children, to continue that great legacy of taking children that are summertime could ruin their whole zman, the whole year. Let's keep listening to other people's stories and making it our own. Rabbi Shisher, Zechrenu Livracha, used to talk about Rebbe Yisroel and Klal Yisroel. Yes, Rabbi said, Klal Yisroel is made up of millions of Rebbe Yisroels. And every Rebbe Yisroel has a story. Let's listen to their story, make it part of our story, and make it part of Agudah Yisroel's story. Rabbi say, Agudah Yisroel, like I just said, has an unbelievable heritage. But part of our heritage, and the main part of our heritage, is that we have Gedolei Yisroel. We don't move without Gedolei Yisroel. And Baruch Hashem, we're zeicha to have with us tonight the Rosh Agudah Yisroel, someone that his whole life has been listening to people's stories. It's a schus and a kavod for me to ask Rosh Agudah Yisroel, Novominsker Rebbe, to address us tonight.
Schuss Marona Barabona Baraboy Sai. Als speziellen Borchabo, zum Panavajah Shiva Schlite, was hat mit uns verbringt, dem Shabbos. Geht der Freund, Rabbonim und manche Geide, B'chol HaKol HaKodesh Hazeh. We come together each year at these kinusim, each one a kinus chaverim, to receive chizuk, as we just did from the Yeshiv Rosh this evening, who moved me and I'm sure many other people here tonight, everybody, with his sterling words that reflect true Ahavas Yisroel, true caring for one another. We come here not only to receive chizuk, but to receive direction and obtain more of a perspective on the issues that are pertaining to us as individuals, to our lives as Yidden, to our chayfetz ha'adam ba'olam ba, especially at this difficult period. And why is it difficult? I'll explain myself better in a moment. Look around you, and you'll see the Klal Yisroel today, some 70 years or so after the Churban, is faced with, first of all, I'm sorry to use the word, but there is no other word, an ongoing Holocaust, with thousands and thousands of Achinu Bnei Yisrael as a result of those tragically familiar words, assimilation and intermarriage, are being lost to us daily. Das ist ein Seite von der Matbeya. And on the other side, in our own machna of Shem Torah mitzvah, we see the nechama of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We see, I'll tell you what we see. There are more Bochum and Yungalite learning in Lakewood today than in all the pre-war yeshivas of Lita put together. This should say something to us. Of Hashgachas HaKadosh Baruch Hu ba'olamai al amay v'al terosai. And we're faced with both these phenomena. Mitzad echad, an ongoing chorban, Rachmana litzlan. Mitzad sheni, an nechama, as to how the machna of Shemchet Torah mitzvah has been able to regenerate itself. Let me state another fact that should give us chizuk when Akaras Tevet zum Rabbeinu Shalom. I'm sure it's no secret to all of you that there's more tzedakah, chesed, outright Ahavas Yisroel that's being conveyed today in the communities all over the country where Yidden lived, more than ever before. Do we realize how much money comes out on a Purim before Pesach? Comes out to needy Yidden. The Welt sagt doch, Bechoch Heisman, mit der Mitte von Avram Avinu, der Mitte Chesed, mit dem wird noch Heisman sein, dem Golus. The Chassidic communities have been able to regenerate themselves, and thousands of families here in Eretz Yisrael flourish. Baruch Dias, and many of them Begash Biyas too, Baruch Hashem, as a result of the Hashkoch of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But many of us, most of us here tonight, as individuals and families, find ourselves struggling between the culture of the Ummah Ha'olam that we live amongst. We can't help walking in the street, being their neighbors many times, doing business with them, observing their lifestyle. Rachmana litzlan. And at the same time, being a machna of Torah, of Yidden, committed to Ahavas Torah v'Yerushalayim. The upcoming Siyum HaShas, aside from the fact that there's been such an upsurge of Libud HaTorah, B'li'ayin hara, in our midst, the fact that Talmud Torah the Rabbim is being celebrated in a way that was never done before. And Agudath Yisroel is proud to be that motor that generates the engine. Soll der Eibishter helfen, lahagdel Torah b'yadir. But again, as yechidim, as individuals, as families, many of the issues that are brought to these conventions confront us with the struggle between, as I called it before, the culture of the Ummah Ha'olam versus the Derech Hashem. And there is conflict, and there is a lot of tension, as you know very well. So we must attempt to forge a way to live amidst these conflicting pressures that we are under at various moments of the day. Let me give you a little example. And that is why, before I state that, it's important to come together and to seek eitzes for tachbulas, how to keep ourselves anchored in the derech Hashem, and not to be either attracted or pulled or in any way attempt to emulate the culture of the Ummah Yisrael. And that can only be done by Lilmad al Manas La'asais, which is what the Siyum HaShas represents in terms of Lilmad or Lalamed, and which Kiyum HaMitzvahs represents in terms of Lishma V'La'asais. And we need chizuk, and there's a lot of improvement to make. And I'll give you an example as to what happened to me personally and to Agudah Yisroel in the last 2 weeks. As we know, unfortunately, the forces in Eretz Yisrael that have left Yiddishkeit, that have abandoned Yiddishkeit, the Perkei Ol, the right for Yadas, haben sich genommen zum Shabbos. And as most of you realize, the Chil Hashem of this that's taking place today in Eretz Yisrael, the Bezoyin HaShabbos, the Chil Shabbos, the Chil Hashem, in a public way that's happening on the buses running free of charge from Tel Aviv to other areas, is something that we can't keep quiet about. But how does it affect us? We don't live in Tel Aviv. We live here in New York City and in other observant Jewish communities. So the Moetzet Gedolei Torah discussed this among themselves. And the Kol Korah was published, and you all saw it, I hope. Strengthening the commitment that Yidden should have, being Ma'ir Yidden, to uplift their Shabbosdik behavior in terms of Shmiras Shabbos, Kavod Shabbos, Einig Shabbos, zu sein Shabbosdik Yidden auf verschiedenen Öfen. And suggestions were made. I don't know how much of an influence this has had, but let me tell you what happened to me. A day or two before that Kol Korah was published, I got a telephone call from a Talmud of mine from way back, who was a Rav in an outlying community, a suburb of the metropolitan area. And he tells me that he's a Mabitz Torah, he's an Adam Choshev, and he wants to bring some of his Talmidim from shul, not from his yeshiva, who have taken upon themselves not to play ball on Shabbos in those areas where there's an emes kosher erev, but there are boys that are playing ball, either in the basketball court behind their homes or in the street. So I said, and these boys have undertaken that they will not play ball on Shabbos. So he comes a few days later. I thought he's bringing 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds. He walks in with about 15 English between the ages of 10 and 12. I was surprised myself. I welcomed them in, and I said a few words to them, and I was mechazik them, and they spend their time more learning, but they don't play ball. This is a commitment they made to themselves and to their parents, and some of their parents came along. Here's an example. Even though you're not, Philip will assume that you're not over on any sif in Shulchan Aruch. Because those who do, claim that whatever they're doing is al pi halacha ois gehalten. I'm not getting into that. But 10 to 12-year-olds decided that they will not play ball on Shabbos. And what do? Others play basketball, they play punchball, it set me thinking. This happened before the Kol Korah was published. I said to myself, it's a siman that we're doing the right thing by issuing that Kol Korah. This is an example of how we can uplift, internalize Kedushas HaShabbos in a better way by following some of those suggestions, and they're not more than suggestions. Zu machen ins bessere Yidden, Shabbos-dicke Yidden. Man darf mal umkommen to the lifestyle of the Messiah. And to some people, it's a struggle. And we're in the middle of that struggle. Observant families find no better way to enjoy Shabbos, their so-called free time, than by playing ball. Well, Chabaisai, in a sense, that's why Agudah Yisroel is here. To serve as a platform to be able to explain to Yidden what their mission is, to explain Kvod Shemayim, not only to help Yidden, but to extend a vision, to extend an idea. And it all brings me back to the Rashi in Parshas Vayera and the Maral and Goraye, which I will share with you and close. We like to be Talmidim of Avraham Avinu, not only his grandchildren. As the Mishnah says in Novice, Talmidim shel Avraham Avinu. Vayita Eshel beVe'er Shava. Vayikra Sham b'Shem Hashem Kei Leilam. Steht in Posuk. What is the meaning of an Eshel? He's planted an Eshel. There's a Rosh Hashanah there. It means Achil, Shli, Levoya, Gemilas Chasodim. But the Gemara says there's a machlokes in Tanoim. What is the meaning of that Eshel? What is that Eshel that Avraham Avinu planted? Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Nechemya, Chad Omar Pardes. Rashi brings this. He planted an orchard of fruit. The Chad Omar Pundak. He established an inn, a motel you might call it, a way station for passers-by to come in and receive some help, some food, whatever they need at that moment. So, what is the significance of an Eshel being an orchard or a way station? A paradise or a pundak? Steht in Goraye. And he's marich. A paradise is an orchard of fruit that represents ideas, chokhmah, emunah, bitochen, hashkafas achayim, b'dosav shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the teaching that Avraham Avinu was able to convey to the civilization around him, a paradise of chokhmah. And the Maral is marich. A pundak, however, is something else altogether. A pundak is when somebody who needs some help, a place to sleep, something to eat, whatever he needs at the moment is being provided to him. That's a pundak. And that means Gemilas Chasodim on all levels, not necessarily ideas. It means a hot plate of soup and things like that. Rabbi Isai, I would like to hope that this is what Agudah Yisroel is, both a pardes and a pundik for our from Tzibur in this country, for the Torah Akdosha, for Kedushas HaShabbos, a movement that conveys Torah ideology, Torah's emes, as we read in the Haftarah today. Torah's emes, hoise befiu, bat Aaron HaKohen, b'sholom v'misha halachiti, v'rabim heishem me'yoven. The Torah contains a universal message of truth, primarily for Klal Yisroel, but even for the Messiah. That's a pardes of Chachma. But it's also a puntik we hope to be, and we are, on a daily basis, to help Yidden, to enable them to send their children to yeshivas, to enable them, pardon me if I didn't say the right word, Mike Tress, Zecher Tzadik Levracha, saw to it that those two boys remain in Camp Agudah and the nice gewachsen from Erliche Yidden. He was a Yidden Tzadik, I still remember him. We are both a pardes and a pundik. And that's, I hope, how we are appreciated by the people sitting here and all those who come to our conventions and our kinnusim. But ultimately, the ultimate message in life is Vayikra Shem b'Shem Hashem Keil Olam. To be maremem kvod shemayim, both in your own life and as the universal tachlis, abriya shemayim ba'aretz, l'reimem kvod shemayim, to uplift, to enhance kvod shemayim at every station of life, at every time, at every place. That's what makes us different. Not only of the Messiah, but also, unfortunately, of those segments of Klal Yisroel who don't understand this at all, Achmon Litzlan, and have the buses drive on Shabbos and seek to undermine Talmud Torah, Moses HaTorah, and you all know what I'm talking about. Ich kann nicht lieb Ziefel zu reden, was andere tun. Weil Ziefel tut man nicht bekatrig sein auf jeden. Aber die Members darf man gedenken. Die Members darf man gedenken. Soll der Rebbe helfen. That our Agudah that seeks its guidance from Talmidei Chachamim, from Rabbonim, and is led by a staff, led by a Yid like Reb Chaim David Rebel. He's at nicht kamavinim of him, ich a bissel, and his entire wonderful staff. Leirach Yom Vishonim Trevim. Soll der Rebbe self soll sicher sein, zu sein dem Emerson Ruchdiesdicken Pardes und der Pundik zum Klal Yisroel und Merem sein Kvod Shemayim mei Ato v'Adelam.
"42 years ago, I was zeicha to go learn in Panevezhi Yeshiva. At that time, the three Gedolei Yisroel, Rav Shach, Rav Shmuel Rozovsky, and Agun Rav David Povarsky, Zechonim Levracha, were the yeshivas in that yeshiva. And having been in that yeshiva at that time, under these three great Gedolei Yisroel, changed my life and probably changed anybody else's life that was there at the time. But there was something else there that changed my life, and probably every other Talmud that was there. Yibadal L'chaim, the current Rosh Yeshiva that's with us here tonight, Hagun Rebbeinu Pervasky Shlita, to watch his asmada, to watch his Mesikis and Torah, to watch how the Talmidim clamored around him. Anybody just standing there and watching, it would change their life. The Gemara in Yidden says that when Rabbi Yossi would hear the words of Rabbi Shimon, he would say the pasuk of Vasayim Yishak, Meisha Dvarav Nechoichim. And Rashi says when he just heard the words of Rabbi Shimon, it would be royal and ashka. It was royal to kiss Rabbi Shimon just from hearing his words. I think anybody that ever heard the Rosh Yeshiva speak, heard his divrei Torah, it's royal and ashka. But even more so, the Rosh Yeshiva has come here tonight. He's come to America to give us chizuk, but not only to give us chizuk, to talk about the matziv in Eretz Yisrael, to talk what's going on with Chinuch Hatzmai, with the busing. Chinuch Hatzmai is part and parcel of Agudah Yisroel. Today was the yard site of Marina Rosh Yeshiva Baron Kotler Zechet Tzadik Levracha, who was the founder of Chinuch Hatzmai. Agudah Yisroel and Chinuch Hatzmai are synonymous. I've looked through papers with my father, Zechariah Levracha, how many times he went out collecting money for Chinuch Hatzmai. I saw papers when Rabbi Menachem Parish used to come to America. My father used to help him out, go collecting for Chinuch Hatzmai. Yes, Chinuch Hatzmai and Agudah Yisroel are one. The Rosh Yeshiva is here to talk to us about the plight of Chinuch Hatzmai. It's a covered for me, first Rosh Yeshiva, so sagen die Bracha Vadoilem. Bring over. How do you bring it out?
gebet Mechile bei den Eilam, Kol Kodesh. Ich kenne nicht den Aglein wie Lea Leichum. Das nicht. Pirshus, Maronon, Verabonon, Gedolei Yisroel, die Regime, das ist recht früher, so Kanal, Pirshus allem, was mit Abdo sagen, sage ich, siehst du da, die Gedolei Yisroel von Amerika. Ja. Wir haben da ein Agudah das Agudah Convention von Agudah Yisroel, jährlicher Convention. Steht in der Torah, Vayihi b'Yishurun Melech, ביססף ראשי יחד שבטי ישראל. Was meint es bei Yibi schon Melech? Wir sagen alle Tag in Davnen, Adin Elom, Asher Molach, Beterem Koil Yisir Nivro. Der Eberstein ist am Melech wie Messias, noch vor die Brie. Aber der zweite Posuk steht, Leis, ich stehe Chefzui, Leis Nase, Chefzui, was steht? Wie klebt dann jetzt so? Shmeinikro. Adei Melech Shmeinikro. Bechefze ist Melech. Aber Shmeinikro dafür sein. Und das ist die Bria Seilom. Und wer ist die Bria Seilom? Bereshis. Der Klal Yisroel. Die ganze Welt, die war schaffen geworden, soll zwei Sieben steht. Teire und Klal Yisroel. Das ist die ganze Welt. Und das ist bei Yibi Shur Melech. Da verstehen. Der Rebbe hat gesagt auf sich, Kola Nivro, die ganze Welt das war schaffen, nur Bichwoidi. Bichwoidi Assisius. Und wie meint der Pschat, der Rebbe sagt, wir oben Kovet. Das ist ein Teil, wir oben Kovet. Nicht das ist der Pschat, alle wissen das. Es ist noch Chesed. Der Eberstein will, als wir sollen Makir sein, Kved Hashem. Und aber schaffen der Welt, aber wir sollen sehen, Kved Hashem, in Wemen, Nase Odom Bisalmeinu Kidmuseinu. Sagt der Chaim Valoshner, es gewinnt, Kimat das immer wesentlich im Pschat, aber heute mal ich nicht gewinnt, Bisalmeinu Kidmuseinu. Als Kedikach, hat die Malochim und gewollt Shire. Der sagt, no. Hat kann. Was Chasrein und hat mir likim. Und das ist der ganze Tachlis. Wir sind auf der Welt nur eine Sache. Kveit Shomai. Und wir sind auf der Welt noch eine Sache. Malchusoi. Bei meinem dann Sinn ist gewesen, Malchusoi berotzoi in Kiblu Aleim. Dieselbe Sache. Darf nicht in Covid, darf aber man soll ein Makir sein in Malchus Omai. Und auf dem steht bei Yibi Shur Melech, Bisase Vrosh Yom, Yachad Shifte Yisroel. Also hat nein. Also in Tokin Yachad, in Tokin bei Yibi Shur Melech. Bei meinem dann Sinai gewinnt Malchus Berosh in Kiblu Aleim. Gewinnt steht dann im Chazal, Rabbeinu HaKodesh, gewinnt Rosh Yeshiva, Rabbi Yude. Da kommen sagen Ashir, und er guckt auf den Nelom, sieht einer Feld. Einer Feld, sagt er nicht ein Kinshir. Ihr könnt sich vorstellen, wie so lange machen, als das so Sache mit dem Zanki Yeshiva ist bekal. Aber als ich sage, ich bin Freude, Juden, was ist das? Sagt er, als ihr lernt von Ebersten. Mai mit der Sinai, was steht dort? Was soll gewinnen Mai mit der Sinai, wenn ein Lied ist verschlafen? Kennt doch treffen der Sache? So steht sich als Saal, Lehoiso Aschino Nigleis. Es wird nie gewinnen, in meinem Namen Sinai, wenn ein Lied fällt. Als ich bin Leini Kol Yisroel. Und da würde ich gesagt, mein Welt ist die Yeshiva. Und als fällt einer, fährt nicht in Schuhe. Bei Yibi Shur Melech, Bisase Vrosh Yom, Yachad Shifte Yisroel. Aten Yitzogim, Adim Kulchem, Roshichem, Shiftechem, alle sind da. Was ist die Meile von Yachad? Weil der Eberstein ist am Melech auf dem Klal Yisroel. Elikei Yisrael. Wir hoffen, dass ein Melech al Koloretz. Aber was ist bei eins? Ist unser Melech. Ovinu Malkeinu. Aber Malkeinu sagt er bei Yibi Shur Melech, will ich Yachad. Ist von dem ganzen Klal Yisroel eine. Und auf dem überschaffen geworden Agudah Yisroel. Der Name ist Agudah Yisroel. Gedolei Yisroel hat es gemacht. Wie viel wir kennen, wie viel sie scheich, Agudah Yisroel. Yachad Shifte Yisroel. Aber ich will auch sagen, Rabbi Isai. Ja. Aber die Agudah Yisroel ist eine gewaltige Sache. Gewaltige Sache. Aber was ist, mit was ist man eine Agude? V'yosu kulom agudo echos, lasso is rezencho belev of shalom. In die ganze Welt ist Agudah. Scheint wissen wir, wird vereinigt, der mit jenem, aber es ist nicht in Agudah, das soll Teivo Jewakisch Nifrod. Alle seinen Trachten wegen sich. Von mir ist Gedai, die Chavruse. Das ist nicht in Agudah. Yachad meint, als alle ein Matore. Jeosu kulum Agudah achas, lasso is rezencho belev of shalom. Und was meint das, lassen Sie sehen, will ich sagen, Rabbi Isai. Der Goyen sagt, mir Tayag Mitzvahs. Sagt der Goyen, sie dort 1000 der Mitzvahs, nicht in Tayag. Wie steht im Goyen? Ich sage Tayag, der Ebenstoff hat eine Sache, was will beten. Aber das sagt gut edler, als ihm schwer zu materieren sein. Die Sachen beim Gewinner Jiker hat gebeten, gesagt. Aber da Sachen, was hat nie gesagt, will das, und er sieht, materiell sein will ich nicht. Du weißt mir, was will, wie weißt mir, was will. Auf dem darf ich noch Machush, und auf dem darf ich noch Teire. In Teire steht Rezen Hashem. Am lernen durch Shas, weiß man, was will. Und ich hatte Tayag Mitzvahs. Ja, auf dem war Schaffen geworden, der gute Yachas Shifte Yisroel, wir wollen wissen, was der Eberster will. Tayag Mitzvahs wissen alle. Aber es ist nicht in Agudah Achas. Agudah Achas, lass uns Rezencho belev of shalom. Wer weiß, was der Eberster will? Nur was steht in der Tere. Und wer kennt Tere? Gedolei Yisroel. Gedolei Yisroel, Elem Atere, Elem Achsides, Menschen mit seinen Nund, und sie wissen, was der Eberster will. Und auf dem ist beschaffen geworden, der Yachad Shifte Yisroel. Der ganze Yisod von Agudah ist nicht trachten, was ich weiß. Ich will wissen, was der Eberster will. Wie weiß ich? Dass wir kommen unter die Gedolim. Wir haben nicht keine Sache, Agudah tut keine Sache nicht allein, nur mir fragt der Rebbeim, wir fragen sie Rebbeim, jeder sein Rebbe, fragt, weiß was der Eberster will. Das ist Yachad Shifte Yisroel. Ich will sagen nach Chazal. Ja, nach Chazal. Verschiedene am Medrash in Tiraskianim. Der Tiraskianim ist in die Parshas, in der Mühe, in die Mitzvah von Dalet Minim, steht das in Tiraskianim. Der Chagev dem Tiraskianim ist Rabbi Yude, stammt vor Rabbi Yude. Sagt also, was ist die Dalet Minim? Der Esrig, יש לי טעם ויש לי ריח. der הדס, יש לי ריח ואין לי טעם. der לול תומור, יש לי טעם ואין לי ריח. der גודה, der רובה, אין לו טעם ואין לו ריח. was ist טעם? תראה. ריח ist hier השמיים. Und ihr bringt das allemal am Moschel. Wir kommen da rein nach Yeshiva, wir will kennenlernen. Ido der Yeshiva, jeder Yeshiva hat Reben. Da kommen der Reben und gucken auf ihm. Ist er was kennen? Gar nicht. Bekam er für Reben, davon lernen im Schir. Aber als wir in Yeshiva hat Zadik, wir sagen, bei uns in Yeshiva gewesen, der Maschgiach auf Haskell, hat gesagt, schmuesen. Wir darf nicht hier schmuesen. Wir dürfen noch gucken auf ihm, wird hier schon mal. Das ist wie Richoi, wie Rias, wie Jiras Hashem. Beide Sachen darf man um. Tere und Jire, und auf dem darf man um Gedolei Yisroel. Gedolei Yisroel bei Tere, Gedolei bei Jire, und jeder einer geht sein Heilig. Ja, sie steht, aber wir will wissen, dem Rosh Hashem, darf man fragen bei dem Reben. Bei dem Reben, Yachad Shifte Yisroel. Und sagt, steht in Vedresh, das ist gewesen der Ingen von Agudah. Also ich stehe dort. Also wie du dort alle die Minim, so der Eberstadt zum Klal Yisroel, ihr seid doch echt Agudah. Aber das zusammennehmen, wird Agudah Achas, und damals wird bequem die dalet Minimum, das ist nicht. Ja, habe ich gefragt, eine Scheile. Fragt einmal eine Scheile. Wer sagt, das ist sie frei? Rabbi Jude? Rabbi Jude sagt, als Lulav Zorch heget, hat also gesagt. Aber ich will auch sagen, am meisten schon, mit mir gebeten, damals in Agudah, Syrian Agudah Yisroel, mir gebeten, können wir sagen, ein Schir, ein Pesach Tikve, normale Sache. Aber jedem Jahr gewinnt zwischen sich in Agudah, wie jeder, wie ist es, Pirot, wie ist das, wie sagt man? Election. Aber gesagt, in dem Jahr will ich nicht kommen. Ich will sagen, mit Mischen, mit Elections, das ist nicht von mir. Hat er mal gesagt, nein, ich will noch eher naschieren. Noch eher naschieren, ich will nicht in Elections, gar nicht. Aber ich habe gesagt, gut, ich kann sagen, naschieren, aber schreib nicht in die Zeitung, ich hoffe halt in die Zeitung. Sagt er, was redet er bei der Riecher bei unserer Zeitung? Ich habe gesagt, nein, das ist nicht. Das ist nicht, lass es nicht so neu. Wir wissen nicht, dass der Tachlis. Der Tachlis von Agudath Yisroel ist nicht kein Sach, nur lass es nicht so neu. Ich habe eine Scheile. Jude alter Zorch heget. Und was ist mit dem Esrik? Der Esrik ist ein Teun heget? Ah, Kashi. Aber gesagt, Pshat. Damals habe ich gesagt, ich will sagen, ein Schir, aber es kann machen. Steht da, dann wird Hochem nicht verbunden in der Agudah, das nicht. Na was je, aber ernannt. Chorif. Es steht in der Gemorre, die Dauer Minim ist kämen bis Jachar See, sagt das, was der Rief hat nicht an ihm mit Rabbi Jude. Was nicht? Der Esrik. Nein. Rabbi Jude alt Zorch Eget. Der Chachomim seine Mikusher. Seine Mikusher beleben Nefesh, aber nicht verbunden. Das nicht. Als sie verbunden, denkt sie nicht. Aber der gute weiß von dem. Und so mal Gedolei Yisroel und seine Makir, gedacht, sie seien verbunden. Aber ihr seid verbunden mit den Herzen, verbunden mit der Esrik steht, Lemsee, und aber gleich sie auf jeder Trott. Und das ist der Agudath Yisroel. Der ganze Klal verändert. Alle seine Miuchet, lass es Ritzoy neu beleben Shalom. Und sie da Agimore. Wir sagen das schon allemal. Im Kibonim, im Kavodim. Was ist der Chilik von Kibonim bis Avodim? A Porsche der Chilik. Tatate Willepes. Oder a Ponzi. Peter Jankele, bring mir a Glostei. Sie sollten noch ein Ingel, was ist Chaimke. Nehmt Chaimke und lebt da weg und bringt ihm Tat nach Glostei. Hat geschickt. Aber ich weiß auch, was will. Ein Kind wartet nicht, bis der Tate soll ihm essen. Weiß nur, der Tate will das, lebt Was ist der Evet? Evet tut dich. Aber als das Sache wurde ihm, und der Roten Band bei ihm, trachten alle nur, ich kann bleiben sitzen. Das ist kein Wort ihm. Nicht. Wir dürfen sein Boni matem Lashem Elikechem. Wir dürfen sein Kinder Ton Ritzoinoi. Und was ist der Rosen von Shem, von der Ebersten, das können wir wissen leicht. Und wir lernen die Tere, bis mit der Jahr Mitzvahs. Aber in der Tere, ich da beremes, und bedrusch, beremes, mit Pilpulim, aber gibt die Darschen von der Kohl, Tag bei Tag, und der Darschen Tilim Shaloches. Das können machen noch aber Kiwi. Und bis man nehmen, der Emschech. Der Emschech, jeder, der Chachomov, der Schov. Steht aufs, Scheiß der Rebbe, die Beschaffen oder Marischen, hat bewiesen dem ganzen Aussieht. Hat gesehen, der Chachomov, der Schov, hat alles bewiesen. Ich was meint ihr, hat bewiesen, ja, alle Rabbonim, Rabbi, Agudath steht noch Rabbi, hat gesehen? Nein. Er hat ihm bewiesen, die Rabbonim, was ich schick sehe. Und sie Apostel in Malachi. Steht, Siv Seikoin, Yishmero Das, Tere wachsen mit Piu, ki Malach Hashem Tzvokisu. Das geht auf einer Kehr. Was meint es? Er sagt, Malach. So dazu das David. Das meint nicht Malach. Malach meint das Schliach. Tere wachsen mit Piu, sollte gehen lernen, bei einem, was der Eberst hat ihm geschickt. שנאמר ירו משמותיך ליינקי ושרוסך לישראל. וחז"ל sagen, ein Deuer שאין בי כאברום, ein Deuer שאין כמשה, ein Deuer, alle Jedo. Wo seien sie? Besetzen sie, aber sie do. Weil der Rebischter darf sie haben. Er darf sie haben, die, was hier schicken sie, und bedarf Mechamen sein, steht über Rav, dem der Malach Hashem zurück ist, die Wachschuteren mit Piu. Wie können Sie sehen, ich habe gesehen, am Malach einmal. Was meint das nicht mal? Die Malach sehe ich nicht, aber ihr seht im Reben verlegen, wie ist. Ich sage, bis an Nefesh, für uns, bis an Nefesh, für die Tiere, das ist weiß das, Tiere. Weiß dem Rosten Hashem. Und auf dem ist Gebäude geworden, und ist bekannt gewesen, alle Chaviri von Agudah Yisroel. Wir haben Gedolim, wir haben wen zu fragen, und was will wir wissen? Was will der Eberster? Das will wir wissen. Und da man nicht in die Toki bei Yishur Melech. Die Malchus wird in die Skale, noch von dem, also wie der Covid Hashem wird in die Skale, noch als ist da, der Klal Yisroel, als ist da Zibur. Ein Mensch gewinnt genug. Oder Marischen, schön gewinnt genug. Aber das ist die ganze Brie. Später doch nicht da als Sachmenschen. hat sie da Maimah Chazal, am Eredig am Maimah Chazal. Yainki Bobinu, bald zu kommen zu der Parche. Da gesehen, als Sulam Mutzer Warso, wie ihnen im Aloch erlekim, oilmim beirdim boi. Steht da Gmor Chum, sein Arob die Maloche von eben, und sie geben mal guck, als Yainki schläft. Da ich mich noch sie, sie ihm gewollt besagen sein. Er hat mit ihm gewollt, was ist, was hast du erzählt? Sie haben gesagt, wir kommen jetzt von eben. Dort nicht muss ich schon Yainki wie Schokuk in der Malkove. Ich komme zu gehen da, der sehe Yainki, dieselbe Sache. Das soll ich nicht verstehen. Dieselbe Sache, ist jede selbe Sache. Weil er Talut Chochem Amiti ist nur Teire, wenn sucht und wenn schläft und sie da weiter am Fuß reifen, die Parche, was wir gelernt. Bei Yiu Chai Soro, Meir Shono, Eschrim Shono, Sheva Shono. Sie steht, Shli Chai Soro. Sie gewinnen nicht in Rabakiwe. Rabakiwe sagt das Schir, und hat gesehen, dass andere seinen Schlafen ein bisschen abnehmen. Was tut man? Er hat gesagt, ich will auch sagen ein Wort. Wie gemeint er gesagt, am Dulce die Bediche sehe. Sagt er, Chazal steht, wie Pnima, soch so Esther am Alko, zu seiner Malke auf Esrim, mehr Esrim schon. Weil sie sagt, Boneo Einikel von Sore. Hat er gefragt, was mit? Mehr Esrim schon gewinnt am Loche. Aber Sore, die lebt 127 Jahre. Sag ich schlafe nicht mitten. Die schlafen, wie das der Chesm. Da sagt ihr, seht, da betrochen, was das coole Teire und coole Rosten Hashem, ist mit dem Schlaf, ist Eichere CD. Das haben die Malochen nicht verstanden, sie haben gesehen, Yainki schläft und Yainki ist in der Malkove. Aber so ist das gewesen. Steht Kohl schon, Shovin Letevo. Shovin Letevo, und das ist der Malko sicher gewesen, zu mir wäre es schon. Das ist unser Martore. Unser Martore ist, sein Mikurev zu Tzadikim, Mikurev zu Gedolei Yisroel, Teire und Moshe in Yerushalayim. Hier mein Nikel von Rabbi Yeruchem, der Maschgiach. Rabbi Yeruchem gewinnt ein Maschgiach hinter mir. Ich weiß von meinen Taten, es ist eine Woche, was hat gesagt, dass wenn Yeruchem nicht da geworden, ich bin mir gestorben, mein Tate ist gestorben. Er hat Eita mal gesagt. Ich kann nicht leben, ohne ihm keine Minute nicht. Er hat nicht gesagt, ich schuhe ihm. Aber er ist gewähnt, der Meere Derech in Musir in Mides, ist geblieben bei alle Talmiden von mir. Ad er jemand sehe, in der deutschen Jahrzeit mit Ches 7, ist da Schiffe von alle Talmiden in mir. Das ist Talmiden in mir und noch, alle wissen, wir vergessen nichts. Bei uns vergessen wir keine Sache nicht. Sie gewähnt nach Har Sinai. Kennt ihr noch schon sagen, wo ist der Har Sinai ein? Ich habe schon weiß, wo das ist. Stellt sich vor, der Rebbe hat gewollt geben Tere zu den Goyim. Wenn Goyim wollten Gat al Sinai, weil gewinnt dort Binyonim, mit Psolim, mit was, nicht das hier, Wir tun bei der Goyim mit von der Morgen Sachen, da umgestellt ganze Welt, ganze Millionen. Einzig gar nicht auf, aber bei uns ist der Sinai der Reberster, die Schiene. Als der Riber der Schiene von der Sinai, aber wie das Riber in Jerusalem. Die mit 10 Teiot war Hashem Jerusalem. Ist euch als Sinai gar nicht. Wir haben nicht kein Ergosche von, der Rover, der Klal Yisroel lebt nicht in Nova. Lebt hier mit Nova, weil rot ja heint. Weil sie da Avrom, und sie da Mische, und sie da, die alle, was führen die Welt, seien da. Und Avrom hat gerade noch eine größere Madrige. Steht, der Rebbe hat gesagt, Al Tiro Avrom, und neuchi Meiloch, schorcho Arbi Meyoid. Was ist der Mechalisch gewesen? Was ist der gewesen, damit soll sich jetzt schauen? Steht Chazal, Avrom gemeint, da Weide kommt das Schar, aber mit was nicht bezahlt. Chod Chazal, leben, Meilo, Maze, Ertragat, Vakesse, Bazov, אפשר לחרוף מה נסחושים? זאת רבי שתנים גורנית הרופ. Was geht nicht darauf? Aber Gamor gehört von meinem Vater, aber lieb, sagt er, gebrochen, bestammt von Kadmenim. Sie eigentlich da, ein Schachhotel, da, wie so ein Hotel von 5 Stores, da Store. Die ideale Store von 5 Stores, die dort kostet ein Glas Tee, kostet, ich weiß nicht, 90 Euro, da, Malona Bella David, es kostet ein Glas Tee, kostet 20 Shekel. In der Krom kostet es gemacht gar nicht. No, das ist doch, ja. Die Welt ist eine Welt nicht von 5 Stores, nicht von 5 Stores. 20.000, wie viel kommen wir da an am Ispo? Der, was lebt auf der Welt, kostet teuer, zu wissen sei. Aber die Motel Masi kostet teuer. Wer zahlt nicht kein Geld für den in Hotel? Die Waiters, die Melzarim, in die schönsten Hotels. Sie essen öfter noch mehr für die Gäste. Es geht nicht darauf von Chesm. Was? Sagt dann der Balabos, ich darf hier rum, ihr führt noch im Geschäft. Bei euch nehme ich kein Geld. Das ist der Rebbe, der sagt zu Avram Avinu, du bist nicht kein Gast da. Du führst mir die Welt. Schoche Arbe Mioid. Ich nehme darauf von gar nicht, dir gebe ich darf dir oben. Und das ist das Schuss, ich will leben, ich will sagen, aber das ist gut, dass ich da, aber man dort einen Weg. Man nimmt da auf der Welt und betrachtet für sich, geht darauf ins Schar. Ja, ab so nicht darauf gehen, darf man sein, Avram Avinu, und was trachten, ich diene dir, und mir darf mir oben von dir, du darfst mir oben auf der Welt, weil du bist mit aller Zeugnoi. Das ist eine gute Idee für alle. Sie sind doch als Yidden von verschiedenen Kreisen und andere, was haben je, nicht Geld, eine Sache da macht schon weh. Nach so Motel Masi, oi weh. Tracht eine Sache. Also ich noch, weil der Rebbe steht hier, und ich will das Ton sein Rotzen. Ja, das ist der Klal. Das ist der Klal. Auf dem ist beschaffen geworden Agudah Yisroel. Yosu kulam Agudah Achas, lass es Rezencho Belivov Sholem. Und Chazal sagen, ich hätte einzige Parche. Das darf man nicht wissen. Einzige Parche ist da die Broches. Die Broches von Yitzchak. Zu Yankiv steht in Medrash. Und man Shmuel dachte sich, Kol ma she Yisroel mit oben bei Elam Azeh, das sind alles von Bilam Arosho. Wo ist die Broche von Yitzchak, das ist Leilam Abo. Nun, ich frage keine Scheile. Ja, meint alle gelernt. Wie telch Alekim, Bishman Yoretz, und Dogen Visiruish, das heißt in Almabe Dovain, Dogen Visiruish. Was mit Leilam Abo? Sagt mir, Dodo Marischen, Fahrenchet, wo ist gewesen? Gewesen in Ganeden. Wo ist Ganeden? Gestorben, so gewesen da. Er hat gegessen. Malochim haben ihm gegeben müssen. Ist gewesen in Ganeden, weil hat gemacht, da für Ganeden. Steht im Medrash, Bosili Gani Achoisi Kalo. In Shir HaShirim. Wer sagt das? Der Eberster. Wo sagt er? Bescheid mit Gebäuden bis am Migdosh, Bosili Gani, im kommen zurück, jener Gani vermacht geworden, im kommen zurück. Da bis am Migdosh darf niemals da. Das ist ein Dock in seiner Ganeden. Da lebt man. Na, der Pshat ist, am Sies, da in der Ganeden, ist sie Birkas Oves. Die, was leben da und betracht wegen ihrer Maße, hat man nicht, aber das ist Bilam. Bilam hat gesagt, ich will sich Menschen, am Mann, nicht ein normaler Mensch, will Klal, will ich sie Menschen, was ist ein normaler? Die wusste, was will. Ich will sie Menschen und meine Broches wird sein sie erhoben. Ist kol, was ich nenne, Bilam Azeh, in Nau von Bilam. Aber mir will es leiden. Wir sagen denen, ich lebe von Bilam, nein. Ich will leben von Jankeben. Aus der Nese. Leben da, a do ist Elam Abbe. Ezu ben Elam Abbe, Menschen, damit abgehen dort. Wir kennen sein da, jeder redet an seiner Madrege, sagen, die werden Mama schaut, der Marischen Kilometer kämen nicht. Aber der Marischen von Achachet kämen noch werden. Wo ist die Meile? Am ist da in Ganeden. Und steht in der Gemorre, Ui Vashem, Shari Tzien, Mikol, Mishkinish Yankiv. Omar am Frisde. Mishkinish Yankiv, das ist Bote Knissis und Bote Medroshes. Zu was ist Shari Tzien? Shorim am Mitzionim Ba'aloche. Was meint das? Steht Rabbini Jene. Das meint die Yeshivas Agdoshes. Das ist unser Besamigdosh. Das ist geblieben und dort nicht die Schiene. Ich habe gefragt einmal eine Scheile, eine starke Scheile. Bescheid der Eberscher Gebäude bis am Migdosh, hat er gesagt, was soll im Migdosh? Steht der Chazal. Was hat er gesagt? Er hat gesagt, Moschel. Ein Melech hat gewonnen ein Engagement von seiner Tochter. Kommt sie gehen mit Afghastom. Sie gerufen dem Medium und sagt ihm, was er sich ein. Bitte ich Dossi. Die Tere meiner Abbas Yechide. Ich da gehst Chasdom, nimmst doch ja rein bei dir in die Stube. Was ist mit mir? Kenn ich. Muss ich bei einem Migdosh und sei mit euch zusammen. Ein ruft in der Sonne auf Jevrit, Yechidat Horim ist das. Sie kommen auf Jontev einmal, aber die wollen sein zusammen. Aber Chachashe. Das ist da sie gesagt, nach ein paar hundert Jahren rum, und doch war du bist ein Migdosh. Das hat die Kirchen durchhalten. Wie ist der dem Teretz? Der Goyen sagt der Teretz. Hat mitgenommen die Tere mit sich. Hört? Und da steht, Malko v'Shareo b'Goyim ein Teuro. Was mitgenommen mit sich? Gemacht zurück, Frau Russo. Na, Loche können wir nicht machen als eine Sache. Da habe ich doch kennen. Ich beschaß, sie gewinnen die Eressen, wie rastig Liloilo, und sie gewinnen die Sui in der Echetz, und steht im Forschung, aber nicht der Chette Egel, darf man nicht bis am Migdosh. Weil die ganze Welt gewinnt bis am Migdosh. Noch ein Chette Egel, ich bin in Europa bei Drege, und ihr macht ehrlich im Melchem, aber wir bleiben ehrlich Kuchen. Aber es ist Europa, geworden anders, darf man noch mal bis am Migdosh. Und wer da bis am Migdosh, aber der Reba muss ihm oben. Ich habe gemacht bis am Migdosh, aber sie geblieben. Wer ist geblieben? Die Schorim am Zionim Baloche, Bishocha bis am Migdosh, steht in der Gemorre, ein Lerla Kodesh Boruch bei Elomo, Elo Daladame Shlaloche Belvad. Und in Daladame Shlaloche muss nicht sein nur Yeshivas. Die Teimche Yeshivas können nicht sein dort. Die Rote Rabban hat gesagt, dass alle Teimche in Jotom dieselbe Sache. Das ist die Teimche. Wir können das sein da. Und das ist das ist der Pschatz von Yachas Shifte Yisroel. Wir haben das zusammengekommen da, der Rebetsch in der Mond, was bin ich gekommen, mir sehr schwer, ich sage, ich kann was ich gehe, kann was ich sehr kann ich stehen. Aber mir ist daran, dass Yisroel da mehr die Kamatze. 30.000 Kinder, alt man sie mit kennen da reinnehmen in China Hasmoi, weil man darf sie bringen viel Geld. Sie alle Eiser von den ganzen Gegenden, da alles von kleinen Eiser zu gebrochenen Eiser und nicht gefrorenen Eiser. Aber sie wollen die Kinder schicken auch gut. Aber können schicken. Die gewonnen nach Keren als Sois und das kostet Millionen. Als immer gesagt, der Rabnissim Sohn, ja, Stamm ist da. Ja, wo ist er? Oh, ja, da. Ja, gewinn bei mir ein Stub. Der Budget wäre 70 Millionen a Jahr. Sie ist viel all das ich. Aber das allein jetzt sind 12 Millionen und dem ist geworden geplatzt. Nicht da. Als nicht da, meint das, als 30.000 Kinder werden bleiben im Stub. Was meint das bleiben im Stub? Das meint Schmad. Der Priester hat gesagt, bis als sie gewinnen nach oben, Hitler 30 Jahre geht, 6 Millionen Jiden. Mit Gerate wird Kinder, gegen Jalde Teheran, mit Gerate wird, mit der Pracht von Teimon. Ich komme dann aus Israel, was haben die Zehnen getan? Ausgeschmarrt alle Männer. Hat der Priester hat gesagt, halten Sie, bleiben dort. Dort bleiben Sie, Chayelom. Und was gibt es auch geschmarrt? Zugenommen die ganzen, zugenommen von der Lamabe. Das ist Ärger. Stehen ist da 30.000 Kinder in Sakonas Nefoshes. Und was sind wir? Kolach Shaloi Yitin Odom Beat Nafshei. Wir wissen doch eine Sache. Lass uns Rizoinoi. Wir wollen not noch, was der Eberster bet. Wir will gar nicht. Und mit dem Aschre ist der Mensch, was lebt da. Und hat viele gute Sachen. Steht das Rabbi Jude. Rabbi Jude. Ich gewinne gerade ein Chaver an Tiginus. Ich gewinne sehr reicher. Ich gewinne mit dem Chaver. Ich gewinne reicher, nur zu einem Stamm in gewinne. Vater im Tier hat gesagt, so bin ich Leilom, להשתמשתי באילם הזה, אפילו אצבע קטנו. אצבע קטנו זה עשיר עם מקווה. Aber in Geld, weiß wie da $, das ja wert. Oder $, oder was essen, gute Sachen. Was meint jetzt Boys? Hat gesagt, ich habe nicht reingelegt, sie Finger in kalte Wasser von meiner Lamasse. Der Eber hat mir gegeben, aber hat mir gegeben. Aber es ist nicht meine, nicht ich habe es nicht gemacht, ich habe nie gemacht. Und als sie sagen mir, ich will sagen, Rabbi sei, Rabbi Schaff Schamayim, ich schnendigen. Was hast du mal gesagt, Herr Lendi? Aber wir sehen, das ist gut. Ja, schön. Gut, schnendigen, kann folgen. Herzlich ein. Wir haben gesagt, Sliches. Ani Shomer Loch, war Guf Poloch. Was meint das? Die Nishome ist von Ebersten, die Kiese Kovet Chutzovo, aber der Guf ist der Gewinn von Samt. Der Mond sagt nicht lange, haben wir gesagt, der zweite Post steht, an Nishome Loch war Guf Shaloch. Hat Charote, hat nicht Charote. Na, der Arbeit von unser Dorf von einem Menschen, von einer Zadik, ist machen im Guf für eine Nishome. Nicht, ist Gabriel Yisroel ist gearbeitet. Und David Amer hat gesagt, zum Olchon Afshi, komm mal lichob, sorry. Das wollen wir. Und der, was ich sehe, lebt auf der Welt und ist in Elam Abo. Kol ma she Yisroel nenne Elam Azeh Elam Abo. Wir können dem Guf machen für eine Schome. Und am Raum, die ist ja teilige Kinderlach. Wir können sie bringen in der Chadorium. Und bei uns, wie sagt Mishtadl, oder wenn Kinder sollen sein, als wie David Amelech. Mit Mai sein der Elam Azeh, und als sie da ist da, der habe ich noch gegeben. Aber das ist nicht mein Leben. Mein Leben ist Tiere, Lasser, Zincho, Belev, Sholem. Und dann bis da sehe ich, aber das ist ein größerer Schuss, zu raten, wenn sie Mamesh, als Solas, nicht Fosches, steht in der Gemorre, als Biomin und die Al-Zadik, hat die gegeben, ausgehalten Almone, mit 7 Kindern, hat mir gegeben noch 22 Jahre. Hat das mit ihm erzählt. Hat ausgehalten für sein Kirchen, da ausgehalten. Aber ich kenne, raten, wenn ein jüdisches Kind, das die Mamesh, das noch mehr betät. Wie viel Schar wird sein von dem? Es ist gedeiht für alle, wenn wir reinlesen, es ist ein guter Investment. Oho, wir haben doppelt und doppelt und doppelt. Wir soll helfen, aber wir sollen mit keinem sein. Alles, was wir wissen, was wir lernen, und wir sollen werden, wie Josu, Kulam, Agudah Achas, lass uns Gezincho, Belev auf Sholem.
Shikayach Yeshiva. We have in our possession, in our family, just one speech that my father, Zechron Levracha, said. It was a speech in honor of Rabbi Yeshua Silberman's, Josh Silberman's, Zechron Levracha. And in that speech he says that he was by a Perchei Malav Malka. And by this Perchei Malav Malka, there were some young boys standing there, And he asked them, why are you members of Pirchei Agudah Yisroel? And he said there was a young boy there, not more than 7 or 8 years old. And this boy told him, I'm a member of Agudah Yisroel because I live my life according to the Shulchan Aruch. My father said, yes, he got it right. Torah and Agudah Yisroel are synonymous. Any person that learns Torah is a member of Agudah Yisroel. Agudah Yisroel is led by Gedolei Torah. Yes, we want to live our life according to the Shulchan Aruch, but many a times there are questions. What does the Rebbeinu Shalom want from us? For that we have Gedolei Yisroel. I have a personal shaykhis with the next speaker. When I was a bacher, I came to Lakewood, to Beis Medrash Gavoya. The Mir Rosh Yeshiva, who's here tonight, Rabbi Brudny, was makar of me. He learnt with me. Yes, it made a very big difference in my life. The Mir Rosh Yeshiva, besides being a gewaltige Marbitz Torah, he's a person that listens to everybody's story, and I want to tell you one story. A number of years ago, I was involved in a Shalom Bayis case where I was living, and unbeknownst to me, someone had called the Mir Rosh Yeshiva to get involved. I got a call that he's going to be in Muncie that night, and he's asking him to come to my house to meet with these people. To make a long story short, one of the main problems were that they needed money. There was a money issue. The Mir Rosh Yeshiva took it upon himself that every single month he's going to send thousands of dollars to this family to keep their Shalom Bayis together. This went on for years that I know of. But that's only one small story that I know about. Talk to people that are involved with the Mir Rosh Yeshiva, and you'll find out that yes, every person's story is his story. It's a covenant chus me to ask the Mir Rosh Yeshiva, a member of the Miyatzik Gedolei Torah, Rebbe Brudny, to address us tonight.
Kvoid Moranan Gedolei Yisroel, Gedolei Adar, Rosh Yeshivas, Abonim, dear friends, Achai V'Rei, if you just wanted mamish half a minute to digress from what I was planning on saying, let's just understand the Panovich Rosh Yeshiva soll gesund und stark sein. We see in what physical condition he finds himself. And he doesn't speak the language of our land. And he came here on a shlichus, he told us. He came on a shlichus of the Keren Asoyis in Eretz Yisrael. And he mentioned 30,000 children's education, children that are not me'anshe shlomeinu, that are from less functional Yiddishkeit homes than we are at stake, their future, their chinuch. And by his own words, for those of us who understand Yiddish, he said it's very difficult for him, and he came with tremendous mesirus nefesh. He says astronomical sums that would make the difference between shmad and Torah, lahavdil, for these children. And just want to be a mouthpiece. I speak English, you speak English, he doesn't. and just to say in those few seconds what the Rosh Hashiva really wanted from us tonight. It was mentioned last night, it's about 30 some days till the celebration, the main celebration, the primary celebration of the Siyum HaShas of American Jewry is going to be celebrated. I think it's on Dalet Teves, Abo Aleinu L'Toiva. It's practically 30 days now. Shteidach in Gemara. We know that a Siyum HaShas, the Gemara in Masechta Shabbos, calls a Yume Tova L'Rabbanon, even a Masechta. Chazina Tzurva the Rabbanon that finished the Masechta, you make a Yume Tova L'Rabbanon, it's called a Yom Tiv. The Gemara in Psachim, other places, that in the Yom Tiv, Yishoel and V'darshim, in the Sugya of the Yom Tiv, Shloshim Yom before the Yom Tiv. So I would like to spend a few minutes duchzut on the Sugya of how the Siyum HaShas affects every one of us, every loimed HaShas, everybody that's inspired through the limud of Shas to make their own limudim, how that's supposed to impact on us. We just heard before that our manig, Moshe Sher, Zechayna Levracha, always said that Agudah has the dual purpose. The Rebbe Zal Gesund und Stark Sein elaborated on that in the words Pardes and Pundik. It's the Rebbe Yisroel and the Klal Yisroel. What Siyum HaShas means for Klal Yisroel, I think it's quite simple, it's quite elementary, and we all probably have a serious grasp and understanding. A magnificent celebration of Kvod HaTorah, over 100,000 participants, implying that they were Messiah Shas, and more and more. I saw astronomical numbers. As far as Kvod Shamayim and Kvod HaTorah, that's incredible. It's magnificent. It's mamish. And besides the Tenu Oiz Leilokim, and besides the Kvod Hashem, we know, like we just heard from the Rebbe, in those few eloquent words, what Klal Yisroel is up against today, what the Nidachim, not Be'eretz Mitzrayim, but Nidachim Be'atzenu Agdoishe Rachmana Litzlan, how far they've strayed. How far they've strayed. Second Shabbos in a row, institutionalized, sanctioned by local governments of terrible Chil Shabbos B'Fahasia. It's Bisha. It's Bisha for Klal Yisroel. It's Sakana for Klal Yisroel. At a time of Se Pezura, Se Achaz Ben Shivim Ze'evim. That's the time for such insanity, for such amoratzus, for such choshech v'tzalmoves. But what could we do? The Ramban says in Parshas Boy, when he speaks about from the Nisim HaGeluyim, we understand the Nisim HaNistorim, and he goes through the mitzvahs of Zeichel Yetzias Mitzrayim, and he mentions that we gather in the Agudah Convention, Baharom Askoil, to say B'yoseinu Anachnu, but he throws in three words, Chatzifa Nachtzach Lebisha. Klal Yisrael's Azuz the Gdusha, the Haromas HaKoil, the Yehesh Me'Rabba B'Koil Koichoi, that works against Bisha. the Kvod Shamayim generated from the Chatzifa serves as an antidote against Bisha in the world. So there's no question that in America, in the Sira Basar, in quote unquote the land of unlimited opportunity, the envy of every Chiloini is American success. Rahman al-Islam. Over there, hundreds of thousands are gathering. B'yoseinu anachnu. We're Avdei Hashem. We're shoyne mishnasoi. We learn in so many multifaceted ways. And we're celebrating it in such a multifaceted way. And the Ikka message is the mitzvah gereres mitzvah. From this cycle should come a much greater cycle, broader, deeper. V'yoseinu anachnu. Chatzifa natzach lebisha. Natzach bisha. L'shtek Ramban, more or less the lush. It's not a mikra. And this HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Galgalin Schus al Yidei Zakai, Moshe Sherer Zechayna Levracha had that inspiration that the Agudah should undertake the burden of the celebration of the Siyum HaShas gradually through those years, different cycles on a grander and a grander and a grander scale. It was Agudath Yisroel working for Klal Yisroel, for sure. Giving the Vayikru el Hashem b'chaska of what a Siyum HaShas represents and entailed in its magnificence of Kvod HaTorah and Kvod Shemayim. But Agudath Yisroel also operates for Rebbe Yisrael. I know what kind of efforts are going on, the Agudah, on all levels of its leadership. On all levels of its leadership, from the top down. What kind of tircha, what kind of dedication, what kind of Mesiras Nefesh for the success of the Siyum HaShas. It should come out a perfect Kiddush Hashem. There should be nothing tempering the Kiddush Hashem. Nor reinek void shemayim. But there's a total different element. Mizoktibe from the Kotzker Rebbe, that he once saw a young man, and Daitoi was bedicha alei. And he asked him, why are you so... And he says, ich habe geendigt Shas. He was going with the Shas. Like with the Shas. So the Welt sagt Ibbe, Adus gelernt Shas herich. But what did Shas teach you? You learned Shas. But what impact did your learning Shas have on you? Vice the Rebbe didn't detect in him. That it's nicker in him what Shas did to him. That Shas worked him over, elevated him, like Shas is supposed to. And he rebuked him. We learn by the Akedah, by Yoshev Avram el Naorov, and Chazal say, where was Yitzchak? And Chazal say over there a ganze story with a mashal. That Avram Avinu said that everything that I've come to and everything that I've achieved is through the Torah that I learned. I want my child to benefit from that. I want my child to follow that, to get that same input that went into me to make me Asor Nisyonis Nisnasa Avram Avinu. I want my child to have the exact same way. And he sent him to yeshiva. And he didn't return with him to Beersheva to thank for the Nes. And he didn't return with him, and he wasn't there when his mother was nostalgic and by his mother's levaya. So steht in Medrash Rabbah bei die Akedah. Eile Toile is Yitzchak ben Avram, Avram Oile des Yitzchak, Rashi speaks, the repetitious Lashon, exactly what it means. I heard from my Rosh Hashiva, Zechet Tzaddik Livracha, Shmuel Birman Zatzal, that he learned there are two ways parents impact the child, or a Rebbe impacts the child. The basic is Yitzchak ben Avram, a son of a father. There's chinuch, there's example. A Rebbe teaches by example and through teaching. But there's Avram Hoyle des Yitzchak. With the ganze Avram, the ganze Yeshus of Avram Avinu went into Yitzchak. Avram Avinu used it after the Akedah, after everything. What made me Avram Avinu? I want that, the Mesiras Nefesh, to send away Yitzchak Avinu, and not to be returning with him, and not to have him see his alts. Kol Mashi Igati was from the Torah Shalamadati. The Medrash Tanchuma says in Parshas Kisavai, and the pasuk in Vayeschanan va'oisi tzivo Hashem ba'esari l'lamed eschem chukim u'mishpatim la'soischem oisom. In fact, the Medrash Tanchuma, what's the lashon la'soischem oisom? Zog the Medrash Tanchuma that the Torah Gdosh is merames, that Torah Shebal Peh is supposed to make la'sois atem, la'soischem atem, not oisom. Torah darf machen the mensch. Torah has to form a person. Torah has to purify, elevate, und schaffen a mensch. The Anaf Yosef on the spot says very harsh lashon b'shem HaMarsha. The Yisroel, the Ma Yisroel Adam, the Yisroel Adam from all the other minim in the world is only through Torah. Levada Torah, there's no Yisroel to an Adam. The Ruach Memalala of Vayipach Ba'apo Ruach Hayim is Torah. It's not wise that we should get caught up solely in the magnificence of the collective Kvot Shemayim that's coming out now. Each and every one of us, on their level of being inspired to more Torah through the Siyum HaShas. First and foremost, the Messiahim, how painstaking it is to finish a cycle. One can't take that lightly. What entitlement they are to this celebration. But a Messiahim Shas, like we just said over from the Kotzker Rebbe, a Messiahim Shas, there has to be Rishumoy Nicker, 7 years of Shas. Mesechta after Mesechta after Mesechta. It's nicht derselbe Mensch. It's not the same person who knows Shas better than he knew 7 years ago. The ganze Holach Yelech, the priorities, the Iker and Tafel, the Keva. What is his Keva? What is his aspirations? Is Olam Hazeh a Traklin, or is Olam Hazeh a Proizdor? Is he a Ben Olam Haba? Is he aspiring to heights? Is he aspiring to elevate himself above society at large? And every single inspired person that learns, whatever he learns, even if he's not of the fortunate Messiah Me'ashas, he does it his way. But the inspiration to meaningful limud ha-Torah sheval peh, meaningful kviyas itim la Torah, has to manifest itself in other kind, in an elevated mensch, in la'asoischem atem. In Yitzchak Avinu, that was being sent to Beis Midrash Shel Shem Ve'ever, straight from the Akedah, and not going home, and not seeing a mother, and not being by a Levaya, and not following with his father to give Shevach V'Hoidah. Vayoshav Avram El Niyorah. And we've all had the good fortune in our lives to have Rebbeim, Talmidei Chachamim, Gedolei Yisroel, who we've always seen, and we have the Einei Ha'eda sitting here, who their Gadlus B'Torah impacts, like the Rambam writes in Hilchos Deis, Keshem Sha'achacham Nicker B'Chachmasoi, he's Nicker B'Dei Yosef, B'Hiluchoi, B'Masoi, B'Matanoi. That's not only for Gedolei Yisroel, for the Talmidei Chachamim HaMefursamim. A Messiah Shas, that's a status. A Koiveya Itim La Torah Afanemes, that's a status. A Torasoi Kevayid, that's a status. The demands of that have to be a game changer in the Menshalein. And just like Agudah Yisroel, one could understand and rationalize the amount of effort, the globetrotting of these amazing Yidden to make this magnificent Kvoidas Torah, this magnificent Siyum, as beautiful and as heilig that it will be. In the true tradition of Moshe Sher Zechayna Livracha, not to look away from the Rebbe Yisrael when I'm busy with the Klal Yisrael. All of us, let's make their efforts worthwhile in each and every one of our steiging through the Torah. Was hat Shas dir gelernt? Was hat dein Torah dir gelernt? Only then will it be a wholesome mission of a magnificent Klal Yisrael, Chatzife Natzach Bisha, Vahi V'Shur Melech, Kvoid HaTorah, Kvoid Hashem, and a magnificent Yochid by Yochid. Hundreds of thousands of us will be steiging because of the Siyum HaShas. Will be better b'nei Aliyah. And that way, for sure, there'll be a collective Chatzifa Notzach Bisha. And if there's a generation, like we heard from the Rebbe's, will gesund sein, where more and more the Holocaust, Rachmana Litzlan, is still playing out. Every one of us that's going to use the Siyum as a catalyst for growth, as a catalyst for steiging, it's going to be the Zela Umazeh. And we'll be Zoichetake, the Korev, to the Umola Oretz Deyo Es Hashem Kamayim Layom Lechasim. Thank you.
The work of Agudath Yisroel is broad and far-reaching. Every day I hear stories from my colleagues across the nation. Amazing stories about the communities and individuals that they have helped. Come, join me on a tour across the country. Let's hear from those individuals directly, those that have been impacted by the work of our state and regional directors. Let's listen to the stories of Agudath Yisroel across America. One of the greatest challenges facing parents in our community is the struggle to pay yeshiva tuition for their children. Agudah has been at the forefront, helping make tuition more affordable and securing funding for vital services for our children.
Baruch Hashem, we have 8 children, and facing tuition payments is daunting for any family, especially a family that size, and we were just thrilled to hear about there was just a possibility that there was going to be a way to relieve that pressure.
We had conversations with the legislative leadership for over a decade before the passage of this bill. Families have been going down there with us every single year to talk to rank and file lawmakers, to talk to the leadership. And year in and year out, we didn't know if that was going to be the year, but we didn't give up. We kept on pushing and pushing.
Each scholarship tuition is basically $13,000 per child. That's staggering.
This would not have happened without the involvement of Agudah Yisroel.
As from Jews, we want to send our children to good Torah education schools. So this program opened up so many doors to be able to live a normal life with a little bit less pressure. It was literally a bracha minishim.
With the help of elected officials, a strong coalition, and dedicated Agudah directors, that story has been repeated in dozens of cities across the country. From Miami to Providence, from Atlanta to South Bend, thousands of families are benefiting from tuition scholarship programs. Children with special needs require expensive, specialized services to make sure that they too are able to attend a yeshiva or day school. Some states, Agudah has successfully advocated for special education vouchers, but every state is required to provide some services thanks to federal law.
In Miami, there really is very few actual special ed schools, and parents are reluctant to send their kids away from environment, and therefore it falls on us, educators, to deal with all the issues that children have.
Every parent's dream is to see their child develop to their fullest potential, and education is the means towards that end. And our partners and our legislature felt very, very inspired to take on a school choice initiative and create options for parents in our state for specifically special needs children, with a wide array of different challenges and health issues that some of these children are suffering and facing. The Gardner Scholarship was born from this.
We really have to thank publicly Ramesha and Agudah Yisroel for all the help they've done.
This is something that is immeasurable for families that are suffering through these difficulties. Having this lifeline, having this opportunity to alleviate some of the burden that they have by giving their child every option at their disposal is really a great thing.
Even in 2019, we still get calls from people who are faced with the choice of violating their religion or losing their jobs. Just recently, we had a case in New York of nurses who were told to either work on Yom Kippur or lose their jobs. But thanks to many hours of work, emails, and phone calls, Agudah was able to help them, and they were able to observe Yom Kippur. Whether it's employment discrimination, zoning, protecting religious practices, or the current effort to combat the threat to the autonomy of our yeshivas, Agudah Yisroel protects your religious freedom.
I got a call one day from Rabbi Samach, who began a new kollel in West Long Branch, and not only did he begin a kollel, but they started a sort of a kollel community.
One of the homes had a garage that was renovated and closed up, so it was ideal and perfect for us to daven in, and we started a minyan there, davening only on Shabbos. After the first few weeks, one of the town officials stopped one of the members of our community, and he told them, we know you guys are hosting prayers in that house, in that address, and you guys got to stop, it's illegal. He called Rabbi Avi Schnall from the Agudah the next day. He told us which lawyers to hire, with the right way, how to navigate the legal system. Then we had a meeting after that with a couple of town officials. He guided us how to speak to them, what to say, what not to say, what the appropriate, what's considered protocol, what's not protocol. For someone like myself who's never dealt with that, these were all new, and it was a tremendous source of knowledge that he helped me out. We all felt very comfortable. This is not our own personal thing, and we'll get through this together as part of Klal Yisrael. We'll get through this.
The day before the court case, when they were going to appear before the judge to see the judge's decision if what they were doing was in fact legal or not, the attorney for the township called up the attorney representing the West Long Branch kollel, said that after careful review of the case, we realize that you are in fact correct, and the community is allowed to pray inside of someone's house, and they can continue to function as they are.
With Agudah Yisroel's help, we were able to build this community, and this community would be a tremendous source of spreading Torah to the entire Sephardic Kehillah. But that would only be possible with their help. They had us, gave us the ability to build this community.
We all want our children to be safe in school, in shul, and in camp. Since 2005, the federal government has distributed more than $300 million in security grants for nonprofits. Agudath Yisroel worked with the Jewish Federation and others, creating that program, and continues to be at the forefront of advocacy and implementation efforts across the country.
As a member of the Jewish community here in Cleveland, I and others are quite concerned about security, both from the synagogue, a shul perspective, and as far as the schools as well. And especially now, a year later after the anniversary of what happened in Pittsburgh, we're all quite concerned about security.
Members of our community need to feel safe in our shuls. Our children need to be protected in their schools, in their chadarim, in their Beis Yaakovs. So Agudah, along with our partners around the country, has been engaged for a number of years in a systematic effort to increase federal, state, and local funding and focus on the Jewish community.
Agudah helped us in our process of getting funding. We have been able to hire security guards at all of our campuses, and we've been able to upgrade our buildings to improve the security to protect our children.
They're just an example of the impact that we've been able to have, fortunately, in many shuls and schools throughout Ohio and really throughout the country.
Thank God for Agudah, for Rabbi Soroka, and all of his tireless work, and the whole Agudah staff for fighting for the Jewish community and for fighting for each one of our children.
Agudah is the one who's on the forefront looking for ways to help the Jewish community.
We have tremendous askanim for Rabbi Avi Schnell from Agudath Yisroel did, because we would have been lost.
Agudah brings really peace of mind to our community, to our school, to our shuls, and has been very helpful in helping the organization continue to grow, and we're very appreciative of it.
Whether it's New York, New Jersey, Illinois, California, Colorado, Florida, Maryland, Ohio, or Washington, D.C., Agudath Yisroel directors are working for you every single day, protecting your interests and creating those stories for many years to come.
Rabbi, I just want to let you know that this building is a small sampling of what all the regional directors of Agudath Yisroel are doing. And if they were to tell you everything that they're doing, you'd be here for many hours tonight. I was told that by Knessia Gedolah, when my father Zechron Levracha spoke, this is what he said. The pasuk in Tehillim tells us, "L'man achai v'reyai adaber no shalom bach, l'man beis Hashem Elokeinu avaksha tov lach." When it comes to my brothers and friends, adaber no shalom bach, I will only speak peace to you. Whatever it takes, I will only speak peace to you. But when it comes to L'man beis Hashem Elokeinu, when it comes up to the taking care of what the Rebbeinu Shalom needs, then it's Havaksha Tov Lach. There are no more friends. There are no more brothers. It's only you, Rebbeinu Shalom. It's Havaksha Tov Lach. This was his life's mission. And this is what I believe he implanted in every fiber of Agudath Yisroel. For me to introduce the next speaker, anybody that knows Reb Chaim David, his Ne'imus, his Ben Adam L'Chaveroi, his Mesikas, it's L'man Achai V'Rei Adaber No Sholem Bach. But talk to anybody about his involvement in Turkey Tzibur and Klal Zachen, then it's only Avaksha Tov Lach. Then he only seeks what's best for the Rebbeinu Shalom. It's a kavod and a zchus for me to ask Reb Chaim David to address us here tonight.
Thank you, Reb Mendel. B'shus, Rosh Agudath Yisroel, Novominsker Rebbe Shlita, Ponevish Rosh Yeshiva, soll gesund und stark sein. Chavim Yetzes Gedolei Torah, Choshva Rabbanim, Rosh Yeshiva, Balabatim, who give so much of their time, of their resources, of their koiches, on behalf of Agudath Yisroel, under the leadership of the chairman of the board, Reb Shlomo Werdiger, and particularly this year as we prepare for the Siyum HaShas under the remarkable leadership of Reb Shmuel Yosef Rieder. B'shus kol HaKol HaKadosh Hazeh. I'd like to start first by acknowledging some of the public officials who have joined us here tonight. A lot of the work that Agudath Yisroel does, as we've heard, we just saw in this video, relates to governmental advocacy type of work, and we can only do what we can do through the wonderful efforts and cooperation that we receive and the leadership that we receive from our elected officials. And so I wanted to announce those who came here tonight and joined us and who are so helpful to us throughout the entire year. First, here we're celebrating our convention this year in New Jersey, so I'd like to first acknowledge the presence of my good friend, New Jersey Assemblyman Gary Scher. Thank you, Gary. And we have also been joined by New York State Assemblyman Daniel Rosenthal from Queens, New York City Council members Chaim Deutsch and Kalman Yeager. Chaim, Kalman, thank you both very much. Rockland County Legislator Aaron Weider. Thank you, Reb Aaron. Representing Controller Scott Stringer of New York City, our good friend Penny Hyken. Thanks, Penny. And on behalf of State Controller Tom DiNapoli, our friend Jake Adler. Thank you, Jake, very much for coming. Those of you who have heard me speak over the years know that it has fallen on me over the last number of years to say a few words about those Nebuch who are not with us this year, and we have some very prominent names of people whom we lost over the past year, and I'd like to briefly speak about some of them. Rav Mordechai Neustadt. Rav Mordechai was one of the extraordinary askanim of his time. From his younger years as a Tzirei Agudath Yisroel activist in Eretz Yisrael, to the many years that he spent setting up the Vad LaHatzalas Nidchei Yisrael, the pioneering chinuch work he did in America on behalf of immigrants from the former Soviet Union, the work he did on behalf of Iranian Jewry. He was bold, fearless, and heroic, and he literally changed the course of modern Jewish history in helping rescue a Shevet b'Yisrael. Rav Yitzchak Katzenstein, Zechrono Livracha. He was the consummate Oisek b'tzorchei tzibur be'amunah, faithfully serving Kahal Adas Yeshurun and the Washington Heights community on the local level, and Agudath Yisroel on the national and international levels. To all of his undertakings, he brought his Sever Panim Yafais, his Seichel HaYoshar, his Midas HaEmes, and his unshakable allegiance to Das Torah. With his Petira, we lost a great leader and an even greater follower. Rabbi Elimelech Bluth, the Rav of Congregation Ahavas Achim of Kensington, one of Rav Moshe Feinstein's closest Talmidim, a renowned Paisik in his own right. He would for many, many years say a Daf Yomi Shir lunchtime in the offices of Agudath Yisroel, deeply beloved by all. Rabbi Dov Eichenstein, prominent Rosh Yeshiva in Eretz Yisrael, he spent 12 years as Rav of Agudath Yisroel of Bell Harbor, Talmud of Rav Aaron Kotler, of Rav Ruderman, of Rav Pam, deeply devoted to the members of his Kehillah. Mr. Alan J. Rosenberg, longtime Agudah activist, a member of our national board, served for many years as the chairman of the Agudath Yisroel Camp Committee and helped put the Agudah camps on firm financial footing during some difficult times. Mrs. Shoshana Lefkowitz, a true Bas Melech, Mrs. Lefkowitz touched the lives of countless individuals through her personal chesed and through the various projects and organizations to which she lent her name, her koiches, her resources, her heart. Together with her husband, the unforgettable Rabbi Yisroel Lefkowitz, Zechreinu Livrocha. Mrs. Lefkowitz built an amazing Bayis Neman b'Yisrael, whose impact on Klal Yisrael continues to be felt all across the globe. May they all be Melitze Yosher for Agudath Yisroel and Klal Yisrael. Yehi Zichram Baruch. But now I'd like to add a few words of Divrei Askara for another special member of the Agudath Yisroel family, Hagoin Harav Avram Chaim Levin, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. It was almost exactly a year ago when the Torah world lost one of its true giants, Rosh Yeshiva of Tel Chicago, Chaver Mayetzes Gedolei HaTorah, Yeshiv Reish of Torah Messiah's Vad Roshei HaYeshiva, Harav Avram Chaim Levin. I will never forget when I first started working for Agudath Yisroel, going back over 35 years ago. Rabbi Moshe Sherer Zechreinu Livracha told me about the rabbinic nesias of the Agudah. And he gave me some insight into the distinguished Rosh Yeshiva and Rabbanim who served on the nesias. When he came to the name Rabbi Avram Chaim Levin, he used two words to describe him: true aristocracy. And indeed, that he was. Rabbi Avram Chaim was a prince, exemplifying both the stolz and discipline of Telz and the tzmimus and ehrlichkeit, if I may, of the American Midwest. His hasmada and lumdus were legendary. His warm smile was ever present and infectious. His optimistic, positive outlook on life never faded, even in the most difficult times. I was never zeicha to learn in Tel Chicago, but over time I came to look up to Rav Avram Chaim Levin as one of my great rebbeim. He taught me what it means to be an agudist, to feel a sense of achrayas to the Klal, how it was possible to be an ohev shalom v'reidev shalom, but without ever compromising on fundamental principle. He taught me to live one's life with the Demus Yuknai image of his rebbeim, guiding his every step. He pushed us all to reach higher and higher in our personal lives and our tzibur responsibilities. He undertook and oversaw many projects and activities, both at the local levels and at the national level, always with enthusiasm and bitachon that Hashem would provide the siyata d'shmaya necessary to succeed. And succeed he did. When Avram Chaim Levin would speak at an Agudah Midwest convention in Chicago, tears of pride and joy would come to his eyes as he would talk about the remarkable growth of the Torah community in the Midwest. What he would not say, because aristocrats don't talk that way, was that he himself was the one who played the central role in fueling that remarkable growth. Agudath Yisroel and Klal Yisroel will forever be indebted to this great, humble giant. Yehi Zichrei Baruch. Just one other introductory comment, and that is that we are so blessed tonight with the presence of our chairman, the son of Mike Tress, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, one of the most inspiring people in the modern day history of the Jewish people. And the fact that his son Rab Mendel came here tonight, and there are other members of the Tress Mishpacha here as well, to participate personally in a very wonderful and positive and forceful way, showing how the Messiah of love for Agudath Yisroel and for Klal Yisroel continues on into the next generation. And I know from personal experience that it's not just this generation, it's the Tress Einiklach also. Baruch Hashem. I just wanted to say, Rab Mendel, thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart. Okay, here's the Daily Hamodia of November 11, 2019, just a few weeks ago. And I've turned to page 4, and I'd like to read a couple of the headlines from page 4 of the Hamodia on that day. Number 1, eggs thrown at Jewish buildings in Borough Park. Next, man with gun goes on crime spree in Crown Heights. Next headline, Teen arrested, charged with hate crime for menacing Jews in Borough Park. I picked one day. Could have been others. I think we all know what's going on out there in the world today. We hear everybody speaking about it. The President of the United States devoted precious real estate in his State of the Union speech this year to talking about the spike, not just the spike, the explosive growth in anti-Semitism and hate crimes directed against Jewish people. We know about it. We know about anti-Semitism bichlal, and we know about anti-Orthodoxy and anti-Haredism bifrat, which we spoke about last year at the convention. We know about campus anti-Semitism, where people are scared in the place of intelligentsia to walk around with yarmulkes on their heads. There's an article in the New York Times that appeared a few weeks ago about somebody who is a left-wing Jew and describes himself as a progressive liberal in every single respect that you can possibly imagine, except that he's against BDS, and because he's against BDS, he is ostracized entirely in his college campus. And the ostracism goes beyond simply not being made to feel comfortable where he is. We know about some of the zoning efforts. We saw some of it on the video we just saw, but the idea that the purpose of creating zoning laws, very explicitly stated, is to keep the Hasidics out. We know about all these things. We've spoken about them. We continue to speak about them. We know what's going on, anti-Semitism. There's another danger which I'd like to focus on a little bit tonight. It's not just anti-Semitism, but religion and religious people are suffering a tremendous decline in this country. Once upon a time, America was known as a religious country, and in certain parts of this country, it still is a very religious country. But there are also parts of this country, under the banner of progressivism and others. What do you think they're making progress from when they speak about being progressive? What are they progressing from? They're progressing from Sinai. Though, in fact, it's not at all progress, it's exactly the opposite. As we say, as the Sfarim say on the Maimer in the Haggadah, Mitchila oivdei avodah zara hayu aveiseinu, v'yachshav kervanu hamokim avodah. The progress is, we went from being oivdei avodah zara to being servants of Hashem. Right? That's real progress, but the progressives, the word progressive in the world today has assumed a certain meaning. It means progress away from religion. And therefore we see in many different ways how what would have been unthinkable years ago has become the mainstream today. There was a candidate for the presidency of the United States. He's since dropped out. But he very clearly stated that since those religious institutions that are not ready to embrace our society's recently adopted new definition of marriage, those institutions, even though they may be religious institutions, should forfeit their tax exemption. That was his policy proposal. My colleague, Rabbi Ariel Sadwin in Maryland, worked very, very hard for a couple of years in developing a program that benefits non-public schools, religious non-public schools across the state of Maryland. It's called the Boost Program, and it makes a real difference. One of the institutions, one of the religious schools that has benefited from the Boost Program was told that they're no longer eligible to benefit from the Boost Program, and they have to, as a matter of fact, provide restitution for all the monies that they received under the Boost Program until now, because in their school manual, they say that our school does not accept the new definition of marriage. Well, because of that, you should lose all the money that you've gotten from government, and you should, of course, make restitution, return it to the government. Specifically in our context, the targeting of Jewish religious practices, call it anti-Semitism, I'm not sure. Certainly it's anti-religious activity when we speak about regulating for the first time ever the practice of bris milah, or restrictions on shechita, or lawsuits constantly against kaparas. sorts of things that are taking place now in New York with respect to the religious component, or I should say the secular component of a religious school's curriculum, and the efforts by government to impose its view of the proper balance between religious studies and secular studies, not the views of the yeshiva or any other school. So of course, what we're talking about is impacting us as a religion. I'll say one which may be controversial in some people's eyes, but I firmly believe in it, and the majority of our Me'atzes Klal Torah feels it as well. The removal of the religious exemption in the context of vaccinations that took place in New York State this year. Again, whatever one may think about vaccinations and the entire debate around that, I'm not getting into that at all. But the idea that government has stated for the first time that until now we've accepted the notion that there are people who live their lives according to their religion, and because of that they should be accommodated because we respect religious practice. That's the kind of law that is so essential for our community as we grow in the United States. And for that to have been removed by an act of the legislature, I think is less of a comment on the good people in the legislature's view of the substance of the issue, but it's because they don't think that religious views, which in some way are to their minds in conflict with scientific views, religious views should not be given any consideration. The Attorney General of the United States, Bill Barr, with whom we have enjoyed a very strong and close relationship over many years, going back to the time when he was the Attorney General in the late 1980s, or was it the early 1990s? It was the early 1990s, I think, under the first Bush administration. He gave a speech the other day at Notre Dame University. And I'd like to quote part of his speech, excerpts of his speech, which I think speak precisely to the point that we've been discussing tonight. He said like this, he said, "Secularists and their allies among the progressives have marshaled all the force of mass communications, popular culture, the entertainment industry, and academia in an unrelenting assault on religion and traditional values. These instruments are used not only to affirmatively promote secular orthodoxy, but also to drown out and to silence opposing voices, and to attack viciously and hold up to ridicule any dissenters. Militant secularists today do not have a live and let live spirit. They are not content to leave religious people alone to practice their faith. Instead, they seem to take a delight in compelling people to violate their conscience." That's the America that is emerging in our time in front of our eyes. And that's why a large part of the Shtadlanis work that we are doing today, you saw a beautiful video and some terrific, remarkable accomplishments. But a large part of the work, so much of the time that we have to spend, is to defend our most basic religious principles and freedoms, which in today's society, in today's climate, is under severe and relentless attack. Yochanan Wasserman, Zecher Tzadik Livrocha, Hashem Yimtgeim Damai, once spoke in Germany to the Rabbiner seminar over there. This was several years before the rise of Hitler, Yamach Shemai. He quoted a pasuk. Elimelech told Avram, this is Parshas Vayera, Elimelech told Avram, why did you do this? Why did you tell me that this woman was your sister when in fact she was your wife? So Avram said, because I said, Rak, ein yiras elikim b'mokem hazeh, v'haraguni al devar ishti. So Rabbi Yochanan, in speaking to the German Rabbanim, I'm not sure, in speaking to them, he said, what does the pasuk mean what did he mean when he used the word rak? It could have said, Vayemer Avraham, ki amarti, ein yiras elikim b'mokem hazeh, v'haraguni al devar ishti. What is the word rak? Rak ein yiras elikim b'mokem hazeh. Rak means only. The answer is that Gror when Plishtim, where Avimelech was the king, was the most civilized society. As Rashi points out in Parshas Lech Lecha, that when Avram Avinu told the Egyptians in Mitzrayim that Sarah was his sister, not his wife, he didn't mention that he was wife, and then Pare sent him away. So it says that Pare sent him away, don't stay in this country, because the people in Mitzrayim were shtufei zima. They were the most immoral people in the world. So don't stay here, go away. Avimelech, on the other hand, didn't send Avram away. He said, you can stay here, you could be here, because we have very civilized people in Plishtim and Gerar. You know, we have, no doubt, very refined and cultured and educational. They probably listened to classical music. They enjoyed art and literature, and they were very benevolent monarchy. Constitutional freedoms, no doubt, were guaranteed. All they were missing was one little thing. Rak ein yiras Elokim b'makom hazeh. There's one thing missing. Rak, one thing. Everything else is wonderful. It's perfect. All that's missing is yiras Elokim. Yiras Elokim is missing. You don't believe in Hashem? B'haraguni al dvar ishti. They're capable of killing me. Because if ein yiras Elokim b'makom hazeh, capable of anything, I don't care how cultured you are. This is what Rabbi Chanan B'divrei Nevuah told the Rabbanim in Germany at a time even before Hitler's appearance on the scene. So the lack of Yiras Elokim, which we're moving more and more in this country in that direction, right? When we're being progressive, and we're going away from religion, we're going away from recognizing that there is a creator and there is a God. And it may say so on the dollar bills and the coins that we have, but it's not reflected in the reality of the directions that this country is taking. Can we be so sanguine that our futures here are safe, comfortable, as everybody expected? People always ask, they say, can it happen here? Well, I'm sure they said the same things in Gerar and Plishtim. And they probably said the same things in Germany. Can it happen here? Of course it can. Of course it can. And especially when ein yiras Elokim b'makom hazeh. So we do what we can, and we get involved in various governmental matters. We go to the courts to argue our rights and support cases brought by religious groups. And we're involved in many different areas of legislation to try to protect our rights. And that's the kind of work that we do. This is why Agudah Yisroel, among many, many other things, but this is one of the fundamental purposes of Agudah Yisroel. But at the end of the day, we have to take a look inwards and see, how do we deal with the fact that we are living now in a society which is moving in the direction of Rak ein yiras Elokim b'makom hazeh, and we're becoming targeted more and more. Not really for me to speak about these things, but think about how our children are growing up. They're in a society, our children are in a society which all around them is moving in this direction of ein yiras Elokim b'makom hazeh. We're very, very pained and saddened and horrified by when we see the number of children and young adults who are moving away from the community, what we refer to as OTD, off the derech, right? Rabbi say it's a miracle that the numbers aren't exponentially higher. Look at the world they're living in. Look at all the outside stimuluses which come in, right? Look at what's going on. And we try to build our walls and we try to create safe areas, but more and more, whether it's through the telephone we hold in our pocket or whether through various other different mechanisms and means, and just living in the world that we live in today, are we protected? Are our children protected from these influences? The society of ein yiras Elokim b'makom hazeh. It's a miracle that we have what we have. For me, the high point of this convention came on Thursday, early evening, before the main session started, one of the guests approached me and says, "You remember you spoke a few years ago at the Shabbaton that was hosted by Mask. Mask is a wonderful organization that works with some of the problems, the social problems that we face as a community today with parents. They had a Shabbaton, and I was asked to speak, and these were parents of children who were off the derech. You remember you spoke at that time, and I came over to you afterwards, and I told you about my daughter. I want you to see a picture." He pulled out his phone, and he showed me a picture of a kala, tznua. She came all the way back, and Baruch Hashem, she got married this year. And she's establishing a beautiful bayis now in Yisroel. We never lost hope. We never lost faith. We believed in her. We showed her love. Karachem av albanim kein terachem Hashem aleinu. Maybe HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows how much rachmanis we need today, how desperately we need His rachamim today, is giving us opportunities to expand the definition of karachem av albanim. Maybe He's giving us extraordinarily difficult challenges in raising children and asking us, show some love to your children, even though it's so hard, even though they dress in a way that makes you feel embarrassed to be seen with them, even though they behave in certain ways, even though they're mechalel Shabbos, even though they're all kinds of different things. Show them love. That's what the Eibishter wants. That's what the Eibishter wants. Karachem of albanim. Can you imagine how much rachem of albanim exists in today's world? Every single child that's born into this world, right, is another challenge for a parent to show rachmanis to that child, and to expand the rachmanis that we show to our children, to show rachamim, even when it's hard. Kein terachem Hashem aleinu. This is why Reb Meir Premishlana says, in this week's parsha, it says that Vayehav Yitzchak es Esav kitzayed befiv. Because by loving Esav, by loving the Ben Rasha in your house, by showing love to him, that's tzayed befiv, that enables you to advocate before the Rabbeinu Shalom and say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Karachem av albanim, Shem sherichamti al bani, Kein terachem Hashem aleinu. That's pshat and kitzayed befiv. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving us tzayed befinu. In an era when we live at a time when ein yeras elikim b'makom hazeh, and the challenge of maintaining our families in such a tkufa is so extraordinary. Let's remember, HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants to give us rachmanis. In order to give HaKadosh Baruch Hu's rachman, we have to expand our own rachman. Thank you very much.
Archen Chaviv. The last speaker, Rabbi Chiel. I didn't know you before this weekend. True, we both learned in tells, so I guess that's some kind of a shaykhis between us. Your family, the Sparrow family, is synonymous with tells. I know your parents, but I did my homework. And I found, yes, the theme of this weekend, as we said, is stories. How many people's lives have you touched with your stories? How many people's lives have you changed with your stories? How many people daven a different davening because they've accepted not to talk during davening based upon your campaign and your stories? Rabbi Chiel, it's a schus for us. I ask you, come up here tonight, touch us, change us, influence us to be better people. We ask you, B'chil, to speak to us tonight.
Birshus, the Novominsker Rebbe Shlita, Rebel Pavarski Shlita, Gedolei Rosh Yeshivas, Rabbanim, dear friends. I remember as a young teenage boy learning in Telz Yeshiva, 1986 I believe it was, when they gathered us together and they put a video into the VCR to show us highlights and speeches from the Agudah Convention. When Dayan Dunner came and he electrified the audience, I remember how he uplifted and gave chizuk to the Rosh Yeshiva of Gifter Befrat. And I remember what a roishim it made on me. And I mentioned this to the Novominsker Rebbe today, and I said, Rebbe, you should have koyach. He said, that is a bracha I will take. I begin by telling our leaders, our rabbeim, our Rosh Yeshivas, we need you to guide us, to be mechazek us, to shoulder the burden of Klal Yisrael. May Rabbeinu Shalom give you the strength you need to continue to lead us at Bias Goyal Tzedek. Many of you might be wondering the same thing I am. What in the world am I doing here? But the question is so much bigger than me at this podium, on this stage, at this convention. The question looms large. What in the world are we doing here? This is the final chapter of a story that began long ago with the Maisa Bereshis, the story of creation, when the Rabbeinu Shalom began to write Ze Sefer Toldei Sodom, the book of Adam Arishin, the book of man. He took us through the Sipur, the story of Yetzias Mitzrayim, which encompasses all of the exiles of the Jewish people. It's been a long gullus, but now we're at the end. Reb Daniel Frisch, in his Agudah Shel Pesach Masach Midvash, quotes the Zohar. The Zohar is on a Mishnah. The Mishnah says, Oichlin kol arba, toilin kol chamesh, v'sorfin, b'tchila sheish. On Erev Pesach, we eat chametz the entire 4th hour. The 5th hour we can wait, but sorfin we burn it, b'tchila sheish. Zok the Zohar HaKadosh. Oichlin kol arba, the 4th millennia. Klal Yisroel was oichel, the shefa of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Both Botei Mikdashah stood. Then came the Churban, but Toilin Kol Chamesh. It's fascinating to note that the first 1,000 or so years of Golus, the tsaros weren't so pronounced. It was only B'tchila Sheish that the Sreifus began. The Crusades, the expulsions, the Inquisitions, the Cossacks, the Holocaust. And he explains that's because there were klipas that attached themselves to our neshamis. So to purify our neshamis to Rabbeinu Shalom must bring tsaris. But now we're at the end. And here we stand, this generation, us. We are going to bring Moshiach. But we stand here, it would seem, alone. And alone is a scary place to be. But that's the end of the story. Vayivoser Yaakov levadoi. At the end of Golus, at the end of the long, bitter fight with the Sar Shalesav, Yaakov stands alone, levadoi. So we stand as Yaakov alone. But we are not alone. The altar of the Vardik, at the end of the Seder, when some of us might take a walk because we're full of matzah and wine and we want to get some fresh air. That's why we take a walk. But the altar took a walk with his girls at the end of the Seder night. Leil Shimurim. And where did he bring them? He brought them to a churva. He brought them to the local haunted house where his girls were terrified. They never went near there. But he held them by the hand and he told them, there's nothing to be afraid of. We have the Rebbeinu Shalom with us. Leil Shimurim hu. We're not alone. We're with the Rebbeinu Shalom, about whom it says, V'nisgav Hashem levadoi b'yom hahu. We're levadoi. He is levadoi. We're levadoi together. People ask me all the time, what's the ingredients for a good story? I believe the number one ingredient for a good story is you must give the reader an underdog he can cheer for. Someone he can identify with, relate to, and the reader needs to get behind the underdog. Well, in the story, in the greatest story ever told, we are quite the underdog. We're in the month of Kislev now. When Giborim biyad chaloshim, v'rabim biyad ma'atim, yes, we have the qualifications necessary to be the greatest underdog ever. But we triumph nonetheless. Weak and outnumbered, we still rise to the top. The Pasuk says, there's an Eileh. There's many choices. There's many avodah zaros. But Se'u Marayin Einechem Ureu Mi Bara Eileh. Who created all of these? Everything. Who's the me? Mi Eileh Zoisi Oisalekim. When we find that choice, when we identify the me, then we've discovered the Rebbeinu Shalom. He too is the ma'at amongst the rabbim. And that Eileh, as a reference to Eileh Elohecha Yisroel, by the Chet HaEgel, represents the rabbim, the many choices. So think for a moment. The Levad, 36 bigematria, offsets the Eileh, 36. And that's why we light the 36 Neiros of Hanukkah. Because our job is to allow our Ner to illuminate the Rishus Harabim, so that they can see Mi Bara Eileh. We identify with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We are one with Him. We are Levadai. There has been no greater Levadai perhaps in the history of time than Auschwitz 1943. And the Germans, who knew the Jewish calendar so much better than the inmates, announced anyone found lighting a candle will be shot, no questions asked. And in the barracks it was understood it wouldn't happen, except there was one man, his name was Naftulchik. He was quiet and strong and defiant. And the first night of Hanukkah, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, there was a chevra that suspected maybe he is going to go out. And sure enough, he did. He slipped out of the barracks and he went to a little hut. And they peeked out the window and they decided they're going to follow him. It was snowing that night. They followed his footsteps and they walked in. They surprised him. And he turned around and they said, Naftulchik, what are you doing here? And they looked down and they saw he's not wearing shoes. They said, where are your shoes? And he said, I traded them. For what? For a candle and a match. And right there and then, he lit Hanukkah licht. Suddenly, the door bursts open. In comes the Nazi guard with a bullwhip and a truncheon in hand and a pistol waiting to be used. And he says, "Who lit the candle?" Naftolchik steps forward. He says, "I did." "Blow it out." Naftolchik doesn't move. Enraged, the Nazi guard screams, "I said blow it out!" Naftolchik just smiled. And right there and then, the Nazi ended his life with one bullet. His three friends standing there were terrified. And he barked to them that they should take his body and bring it to the back of the hut, which they did. They dragged him through the blood and the snow. And with tears in their eyes, they walked back to the barracks. And as they're about to enter, they turned around and they saw that the candle was still lit. At the end of Golus, Levadai, limping, bruised, beaten, but the fire burned strong. The Ner illuminates the Rishus Harabim. Klal Yisroel has told the world who we are. Tragically, though, there are many among us who don't have the strength to survive being alone. I recently had the privilege to speak to a group of almanas. And someone told me the following. Told us our Rebbe came to this town. And this group, Samchenu, a beautiful group, asked the Rebbe if he'd be able to meet with the almanas, if they could get a bracha, and each one of them came. And they asked the Rebbe for a bracha. And there was one fellow who stood in the room, he was the translator. And so one woman walks in with her daughter, a girl of marriageable age who hasn't been read a shidduch in many, many months. And the Rebbe gives a warm bracha. And then the mother says to her daughter, "I need you to leave the room for a moment. I need to speak to the Rebbe." And she leaves the room, and the woman, this almana, says, "Rebbe, 6 months ago, I was diagnosed with the machla. And I can't tell my children. And I haven't had the chance to cry yet. Rebbe, would you mind if I cry for a few moments to you?" And that's what she did. She sat down and she cried. The next morning, her daughter was read a shidduch. 2 weeks later, she became a kala. We have to let every other Yid know they're not levadoi alone. We have to lend an ear. We have to give a shoulder. We have to let Yidden cry on us. We have to be there for them. Nivra Adam Yechidi. The Mishnah in Sanhedrin says that if Chas v'Shalom, one nefesh from Klal Yisroel is lost, it's like the whole world has been destroyed. Dr. Moshe Shapiro. Kol ba'aylam oivin lefan of kivnei marayin. Every person is a Welt. Every individual in his schus, the entire world stands. We are levadai, but we're empowered. Our Torah, our tefillah, our chesed holds up the entire world. We're not judged separately. You can't lean on someone else when you're judged. You hold up the world. You have to know what your koyach is. You have to know what you're capable of. And indeed, so many people in Klal Yisroel do this. But sometimes we think of something and then we say, you know what, just too much of a headache. I'm gonna have to make a whole bunch of phone calls. It's gonna be a mess. Leave it, forget it. It's okay, they'll survive. There was an askin who many years ago went to Russia. He was told to meet with someone, he had to bring him some money. They made up that he would see him at the corner and the guy would give him a signal if it was safe, if no KGB was watching. First time he tried to meet, it didn't work. Second time, it didn't work. Third time, he comes to him. He sees a guy, there's no beard, no payas. He looks like a regular plain guy. He says to him, here's the money. I'm just curious, what's it for? He says, the children learn kfira all day, every day. And I try to teach them a little bit of Torah, but I have to bribe them with candies. So this money is going to pay for the candies. And he looks down and he sees that the guy's missing some fingers. He says, what happened? He said, nothing. They caught me. And I had to sit in Siberia for 20 years. He says, you're not afraid to get caught again? You're going to get frostbite again? You're going to lose more? And he grabbed him and he says, is der Eibishter nicht wert, sitzen for 20 Jahre in Siberia? Isn't the Rebbeinu Shalom worth it? So I'll sit in Siberia for another 20 years. Isn't the headache worth it? You're doing it for the Rebbeinu Shalom. You're doing it for another Yid. You're making someone else not feel levadai where they don't have anyone else. Isn't it worth it? But there's one more way for a person to be able to help his levadai, that he's not alone totally. And it was mentioned throughout the night. The theme is echoed throughout the evening. Torah, oy chavrusa, oy misusa. You have a chavrusa, you have everything. There's a Siyum HaShas coming up, you might have heard. I want to tell you one story. There's a Yid in Baltimore, his name is Andy Goldfinger. Andy Goldfinger is a theoretical physicist for Johns Hopkins University. Do not ask me what that is. I struggled with algebra in 9th grade. And Andy tells me that August 2nd, 1972, he began to work. For the next 28, 29 years, he was working, and then his wife was stricken with Alzheimer's. And he told me it's the most horrific disease. She forgot who he was. Soon she forgot who she was. And he says, in 2005, I lost her, although she didn't die till 2012. He decided it's 2012, it's 40 years since he started working. He decided, you know what? I'm going to retire and I'm going to learn Torah. The time had come, and so he decided he's going to learn Daf HaYomi. 40 years to the day when he began working, he retired on August 2nd, 2012. As Hashgacha would have it, the Rebbeinu Shalom started the next machzor of Daf HaYomi on August 3rd, 2012. He felt the Rebbeinu Shalom was telling him, Goldfinger, either put up or hush up. It's time to start learning, and so he did. 16 months ago, Andy's got 2 terrible bum knees. And Avram David Sauer, a guy who takes care of security systems, comes to his house, he's schmoozing with him, And he says to him, Andy, why don't you get knee replacement surgery? He's hobbling around the house with a walker, an almond. He says to him, nah, I can't afford it, too great of a risk. What, you don't have insurance? No, with anesthesia, with the whole... He says, I don't understand, there's no risk. I had it done, it's a life changer. It's great, do it. He says, he says, did you ever hear of Daf HaYomi? He says, yeah. He says, well, 5.5 years ago, I started learning the Daf. If I have surgery, I'm not going to be able to learn. I'm not going to be able to think straight. I'm not going to get back to myself for a good few days, maybe a few weeks. I can't afford it. So the daf will go on, and my knees will wait. 2 weeks ago, Andy Goldfinger called the surgeon to make an appointment to get knee replacement surgery after the Siyum HaShas. Avram ben Avram, one of the greatest heroes of Klal Yisroel. And the story is brought in the Sefer HaGoyin. It might not be exactly the way you remember it. It was the last night of his life, and the Vilna Gaon came to visit him. And he said to him, you look sad, you look depressed, what's wrong? You signed up for this. You want to be Mekanda Shem Shemayim. You're going to go to the highest spheres of Gan Eden. And Avram ben Avram said, I know. But Gershon is Gayer Kikotin Shenoy Ladami. I'm going to be all alone. I'm not going to have anybody there. No parents. I was never zeicher to get married. I didn't have children. I'm going to be all alone. Maybe the highest spheres of Gan Eden, but alone there. And the Goyim told him, it says in the Pasuk, Ani Rishon, Ani Achron, Umi Baladayin Elikim. Zok the Medrash, Ani Rishon, She'ein Loi Av. The Rebbeinu Shalom has no father. Ani Achron, She'ein Loi Ach. Umi Baladayin Elikim, Zok the Medrash, Shmoitz Rabba, Chavtes Hey. She'ein Loi Ben. And the Goyin says to Avram ben Avram, it's a different girsa. It's a little bit different. The way to read it is, Ani Rishon Limi Shein Lo Yav, Vani Achrin Limi Shein Lo Ben. The Rebbeinu Shalom is the first responder. He will be there for you. You will not be alone in Gan Eden. It is now time. I'm going to be driving home in a few moments. Driving down the Jersey Turnpike, and there's signs, adopt a highway. A highway. And people must do it. I would suggest adopt a tzara. If you came to the convention and you heard a great story or a beautiful Dvar Torah Gevaldik, but that's not what Agudah Yisroel is all about. Wherever there's a daiga, where there's a worry in the heart of a Yid, Agudah is oisiyos daiga. Agudah Yisroel is there to alleviate that worry, to tell the Yid, I'm there for you, whatever your tzara may be. Lemi shein lo yav, lemi shein lo ben, lemi shein lo shidduch, lemi shein lo nachas, lemi shein lo parnasa. And then maybe you will emulate the mi bara. But adopt the tzara to the point where you can't sleep at night. Is it a headache? You bet it is. But the headache is well worth it. And so here we are, the last page of the last chapter of the book. We want to get to the end, and maybe Rabbi Israel Tauber's mother, Zechreina Livracha, can help us get there. The Nazis came to her village and they said, pack a suitcase to take with you on the train. She knew exactly what that meant. And so did young Israel. But his little brother Herschel did not. And so the naive little boy, the naive, innocent, pure little boy, walks into his mother and sees her packing and says, Mommy, where are we going? What are you packing for? And she looks at him and she looks at Israel and she says, Herschel, we're going to Yerushalayim. That's where we're going. There's going to be bumps on the road. And it's going to be difficult to get there, but we're going to Yerushalayim. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to Yerushalayim. All of us. Levadai, alone, together, as one. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu bench us all to recognize the efforts we make, to appreciate that we are the ner that is lighting up his world. And he should bring Moshiach Tzidkenu b'mheira v'yameinu amen.
Thank you very much. The convention program will continue with the Malav Malka in your assigned tables. Those in International West will be eating in the Crown Room, and those in the International Central will go to the State Ballroom. One change for tomorrow's schedule. Tomorrow's Daf Yomi will be at 7:30 in the Beis Medrash on the second floor, given by Rabbi Yossi Gleiberman. Thank you and good Tvach.
Go. 3, 2, your mic's upside down.
Agudah, everybody. Welcome back to Agudah Live. We just finished the keynote session, the Motzei Shabbos keynote session of the 97th National Convention. What a night, what a Shabbos. So many things to digest, to take in. The Rebbe spoke, Chaim David, of course, to hear the message from the Panovich Rosh Hashiva, and you're able to see him. He wasn't able to stand up. He flew 12 hours on a flight just to come here to give over to us what the situation is in Eretz Yisrael. Rabbi Spiro was powerful. Just one after the next. So many things it's a good thing it's all recorded. People can listen to it like in segments. Just to take it all in. Baruch Hashem. What a night.
It is over abundance. Like really, you're right. It's just so many. There's so many different elements. Not like it's all. They each give their message in their way and their idea. And it's not always, we tried creating a concept, a story, a theme, but they each brought that in, but in their own way. And for their own message, whether it's Limud Torah, whether the needs for Klal, whether it's Chesed, whether it's Tzaras, everything. And there's way too much to absorb in one night. You gotta take it home. You need a week just to figure out how to apply it all.
Baruch Hashem, the convention, we can say, has not ended yet. We start more coming tomorrow. For all those watching online, make sure to tune in tomorrow starting at 9:30 a.m. We're going to have 3 concurrent sessions.
Yes.
That'll be streaming live on agudahconvention.org.
And TorahAnytime.com.
TorahAnytime.com. Make sure you know get that difference. As well as 11 o'clock keynote session with the Philadelphia Rosh Hashiva of Shalom Kamenetsky, Malcolm Hohenlein, and
Avi Schnall.
Yours truly. That'll be also hopefully a very good session as well to culminate, to finish off, to end the convention. And we thank all of the thousands of people that are watching online for joining us.
Avi, do you have any last thoughts from your experience this year at the convention that you want to share with the crowd?
I think we're 97 years and still going. It gets better and better. I think this year one thing that I did hear a lot over the convention that people told us, I think we spoke about this a little bit on Thursday night, is that there's a Siyum HaShas in 30 days, which is going to be huge. Huge. So everybody spoke about it. How do you pull this all off? A Siyum HaShas, and within 30 days, a convention sold out. Hundreds of people were here for Shabbos. People had to go to a hotel 20 minutes away just to participate in the Shabbos, and it all worked seamlessly. And I said, "Yep, Shai Markowitz
Avi,
is the man."
I couldn't have done it without you. I had a chat with you.
Right.
We created a convention chat with you.
I'm good at the ideas.
You were like on the mark.
Just
you
keep on
did
listening to
everything.
me.
Everything. And not only that, when you took Achayis for sessions, they were just wonderful. It was like smooth. You got them done. You took care of them instantly. And it was just.
That's how we do things over here. And Baruch Hashem, at the end of the day, it was a good convention. People were worried about it.
It's not over. It's not over yet.
People were nervous, but so far, people were nervous. Are we going to sell it? We're not going to sell out. Do we have time? Could we do it? Baruch Hashem, we produced.
I think we should do it every 6 months.
Tremendous, we should not. With tremendous Yadda D'Shmaya. But I think that's what I got out of it. We're just like, we really had to pull it off.
Akash Baruch was so nice to us.
There's so many
Everything
things
went
by
so well.
Shal Shudas today. We had 3 different Shal Shudas. Four, right, one for the women.
Yeah.
2 English, 1 in Yiddish, and 1 for the women. I was there's so many things said. Last night's keynotes, today's keynotes. The whole Shabbos, I was reminding myself, even my point is I want to write down.
You want to take no notes, right?
You can't take notes.
Wait, I have to remember this.
Today, Moshe Tovili spoke. He stood over a mice from the Vision Sarab. I'm not going to say the whole story now. He saw
stories.
Blew me away. Like that, I had like visions, this story, like little key words to remember what to write down, which I didn't get yet the chance to do yet because we had the keynote tonight. And there's so many
Lucky
things
you
that
that even went to sessions today.
Yeah, Baruch Hashem.
Wow.
So many things that happened that we have to just like step back and say, wow.
Absorb.
Incredible.
Yes, okay. So,
thank you very much. Have a great night to all those that tuned in. And remember, one last time, tomorrow starting 9:30, live
advocacy
from the
session?
Crown Plaza Hotel in
Advocacy
Stamford,
session?
Connecticut. We're going to have a session on advocacy.
All the regional directors from across the country. Number 2 is we have one on the impact of affluence or lack of affluence on our community families. And then also with Jews around the world, and Jews in Budapest and the former Soviet Union and Denmark, and how the impact of Klal Yisrael and what's happening there and what we can do further to help them.
And then at 11 o'clock, the keynote on the rise of anti-Semitism and is there a way out? Stay tuned. Tomorrow, thank you.
See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Good luck.